Hello. Welcome
You.
to Monday Mayhem, but not really, but kind of. We are here with a behind the scenes special stream of Tales of Sea. I am usually your dungeon master, Tanfire. Today I am just Tan, and once again we are joined by our lovely players who will also not be playing. And we fielded a bunch of questions from the place that is our server, and a lot of our players were also part of those questions directed at either the table or a player or me, and we're going to answer those, and during which I'm assuming as well, if we catch any questions in the chat or something, we're going to hit those up. But yes, a general discussion of the first arc and the beginning of the second arc so far, and how things came to be and how they evolved. And for our lovely players, let everyone know who you are and who you usually play. Mike.
Hey, I am Mike. You can find me on Blue Sky at Run Like Craig. He, him pronouns. I normally introduce myself as Jasper Skylark, the fucking useless bard of incompetency.
Oh, we love him.
But today I will be playing me, a disaster of a human being.
You're a disaster of a human being. But yes. Next up, Cease.
Hello, I'm Assis. You can find me at Lesbianing on most places. My pronouns are she, her, and I usually play Estrogen, the Eladrin Warlock who is completely normal and sane. And today I play Assis, the human lesbian who is completely normal and sane.
Well, that's just a lie. Anyway, moving on. Next up is Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna O'Reilly. I use them pronouns, and I am definitely human. That's what I'm playing today, a normal human. Normally, I'm playing Devana, who is a half-orc warlock now. I wanted to say cleric warlock, but that's not correct anymore. So, yeah. Great. You can find me anywhere at Peculiar Planets. I'm on pretty much every social media. That's it.
Indeed. Next up, Hector.
Hi, my name is Hector, at KG Okami, all over the internet, Okami short. I usually play Yubisi, everybody's favorite party Bardigan, with angry. But today I'm playing a completely normal Okami actual player person.
This is all accurate. Next up, we have Rice.
Oh, hi, I'm Ricecakes. I use they, she pronouns. You can find me at the very mouthful of a username that is the original Orez on Twitter and Blue Sky. I do art. I usually play Sprout, who uses he, they pronouns, and he's just a tiny little Leshy who's a cleric druid that doesn't know what the fuck is going on most of the time. Because that's our Sprout. He doesn't know much. He doesn't do much. He's like Perry the Platypus. He doesn't do much. And yeah, today I'm playing myself, which is a lot more aware of shit that goes on. So sometimes, if I had a good lunch. Yeah, I'm scared for these questions, honestly.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck people could even ask about Sprout. Like,
Oh.
but anyways, I'm here. Yay! You didn't
Hey.
question of me. I woke up and decided to make it a
Yay.
problem.
And last but not least, it's our host with the most something, Steve.
Something. Wow.
Steve, are you muted on
Wait.
stream by any chance?
Oh.
Great. Good job. At least the captions
He
are
was
picking me up.
muted, guys. It's
Song
fine.
starts. Song starts.
But
That never
by
happened.
giant fucking dragon,
Speedrun.
I assume you meant you fuck giants.
And dragons, yes.
Yeah, cool. Also,
Yes.
I will let you know, Tan, as a variant human, I've decided I took the alert feat, which means I can't be surprised, so I need to review all questions before I'm asked.
That is very smart.
That's very smart.
I'm looking at
Unfortunately,
my
we aren't
feet.
using the alert feat at this table.
I'm looking at my feet, and it just says autism.
I'm insane.
No, that's a party-wide passive effect,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
It's definitely
Quite
AoE.
passive effect. Deadly AoE. Oh.
All right, then. So, Arc 1 was us going through the Lost Mines of Phandelver with a little bit of homebrew spice thrown on top of it.
I'm sorry.
And-
Archon was us going through homebrew stuff with a
People
little
have a
bit of
different amount of
Phandelver
spice
on the
tolerance.
It was sandwiched between Phandelver. It was
Still
And
too wild for forgotten rounds.
indeed. Now, the campaign in general already takes so much from things I like video games, anime, and other TTRPG shows like TFS at the Table. Mixing that with the module was interesting to begin with. And then things happened. Party had to go
Yeah.
through a lot of stuff. And then we entered chapter 2, which is again fully into that homebrew territory, and things are looking great now. So, firstly, we'll start with our list of questions here. Now, this is a question for the whole table, like a general table question. What is a bit of trivia about your character that you've not been able to share? Non-spoiler. Something small like a silly fear, an allergy, or an anecdote from their past. This was submitted to us by Anna. So, yeah, go for it.
Yubisi's love interest, that is the actual reason why he left home, has not come up at once.
oh,
Okay.
Yes, Yubisi has like a tragic, very like queer
Mm-hmm.
romance storyline. That's Anna's seen it because of it's in my notes, and Tan knows about it. But it hasn't come up.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I'm also
everything else
looking at
has,
my
but
notes for
not
what the
that.
name was.
Yeah.
Oh no, they've been Ghibli studioed. Fuck.
But yeah, that's the one anecdote
Mm-hmm.
that I would like to share with whoever's watching this.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will come up.
Yeah, like Jade Hollow is so far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for Divana, the main reason that they make like stuff like flower crowns and stuff is because they were obviously
Mhm.
quite anxious as well as a child, and it was actually their father that taught them to do something when you're anxious, and so he taught her how to make flower crowns. So a lot of times the reason that they carry those around is because they made them while they were anxious, and they've just been sitting in their backpack and they just hand them out to people when, for example, as a gift or when they're feeling stressed. So that's the main reason that they make flower crafts, which is now a lot more difficult considering they can't druid craft anymore. But obviously, as a child, they couldn't either. So once they're on land, they're probably going to look for a bunch of flowers to take with.
It's cool. So I'll say, funnily enough, Anna and I were chatting about this earlier. So Jasper has heterochromia, so he has 2 different color eyes, which, like, he has not even worked this out himself. Is the reason Zazalamel was able to know that it was the same person conning them over and over again, because he could disguise himself, but he couldn't disguise his eyes.
And
Noted
that's really
for
funny.
character art. I
All
will
of the
remember
character
this.
art.
It's really funny.
For Sprout, I think I mean that did come up once at least, but Sprout used to own a little inn at some point, and that's where Yabisi picked Sprout up from, because they made a little, like, next to the road inn. But there's another thing that I thought about at some point, but I never got to say it. It's like a tiny thing. But Sprout is a little bit scared of rabbits, and that's because they tend to eat vegetables. And
I
Sprout
love
knew as well.
That is
Sorry,
a
Han,
very
Tan, can we
funny thing.
retcon?
Oh.
Jasper is now a Harangun.
I was gonna say.
No, so what I was gonna say was that is very funny given Sprout's heritage and where he's from, because there is at least a couple of rabbits which are very important.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Sprout is like, it's not like one of the worst fears, but Sprout is a little bit more tentative around rabbits because they have this fear of like, it's going to bite me, it's going to
Yeah.
want to chew, and I think easy there.
Uh,
Oh no,
Fair
Tan
enough.
is going to terrorize me now.
No, I don't need to, because it's already there. I didn't know it was gonna terrorize you. Now I just know it will. But that's like chapter 4 Sprout's problem. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to
have
traumatize
to make it
Sprout
that far
until then.
first.
If
Exactly.
we make it that far.
Yeah, I honestly, like,
Sprout
I
will
was
make it. I
struggling.
don't know about you guys.
Yeah, yeah. I was struggling to figure out trivia because I think, like, I mean, obviously the text writing on the back was something that was going to come up eventually, and I think literally the only thing was that I was a winter Eladrin for my first like 90 years. I think I originally said 50, whatever, but that came up during downtime. So I was literally reading through my chats with Dan from before we started right now to figure out something. The only thing I have is that Estrogen never actually like set out from Sylvanas Glade herself. It was an arcade magic search that kind of just dropped her near Neverwinter.
That's
cool.
interesting.
She
yeah.
never wanted to leave per se.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
I'm sure she would have because just the state that she was in at the start of the campaign, she was very much exploring. I'm sure she would have.
I will
but
say though, walking out of Sylvanas Glade would have probably just gotten her killed, given where Sylvanas
that
Glade
also,
is.
exactly. But I'm sure she would have tried it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But before she could, she just got fucking dropped near Neverwinter.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. What about you, Steve?
I've been
That
trying
makes
to
sense.
think
You came
of-
up with that part.
I've been trying to think of something for Sapphire that is not spoilery. And so far,
Yeah.
everything that I can think of is spoilery.
Yeah.
Is stuff
Yeah,
about
Sapphire's
this-
actually a dragon.
That's
Who knew?
not
Well,
it.
yeah,
No,
that-
there's like
that is-
3 other
yeah.
layers of it.
There is so much about like the time that they spent in the abyss, which they were in the abyss, by the way. That is like there is so
Yeah.
much there that I like. A lot of it they don't remember, but a lot of it is stuff that Tan and I have talked about, and we've like come up with a couple of things that, depending on how this plays out, will probably factor into, I'm guessing, like arc 3 and 4, not arc 2. I don't know what he's
Randomly
got planned,
drops the
but-
fact that Sapphire was in the abyss, like it's nothing. Like, by the way,
No, we
Anyway.
know this. It's come
did
up
know
so
that.
many times.
We
No,
knew
but I
this.
I
think-
know, but still, I love it every time.
It has
Like,
now
by the way.
become very matter of fact.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very meta now.
But it's so funny.
Frankly, like getting out the abyss was really easy. You just had
Fuck
to like
you.
open the rift. So I don't know
I
why you
mean,
make
you
a big
just
deal of it,
open
to
the
be
door
honest.
and walk out.
But yeah,
Please
so
open
so
the door to
the
the abyss.
the vibe is that Sapphire's been in the abyss. I think that's the thing. Sapphire has been in the abyss since the time of the Dragon Wars, probably longer.
Oh,
So like they've been
Before
in
the
there for
Dragon
like
Wars.
for like thousands of years. Like is how long they were in the abyss. So I guess that could be because I haven't really like never really gave like a proper time to that, and that is how they lost
Okay,
how
I
to
did.
become a dragon. Yeah, that is how they forgot how to turn into a dragon, or like they turned back into Dragonborn to protect themselves, and they've kind of forgotten how to turn back. And also, that is also the reason why they lost all of their. I think, initially they were like a. What's the word? Fuck, I can't think of the name, but they were a paladin. At least in my headcanon, they were like a paladin slash. Not sure yet, but like what is it called? I can't remember the subclass name, but like they were a paladin for sure. So yeah, of course for Bahamut and all of that. Yeah. So that's the trivia, I guess. Yeah. The other stuff is all very spoiler heavy that I don't want to spoil, because I like seeing people
Don't
like
do
I
that.
like seeing the players and the characters react to it in real time. I think that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple that you almost spelled like last time as well, and I'm like, oh, are you doing it right now?
I do kind of feel like, God, I should have had more like revealable things in my backstory, because Arc 2 and my guts are all
Don't
spilled.
worry.
Like it's all.
Oh no,
Chapter
mine is. I
2,
think mine was
you will
most in the
make
table.
shit up, which will happen in 3 or 4 then as
Yeah.
comeuppance.
What about you,
That's
Tam? What's that
true.
one piece of lore that you haven't shared yet? That you really
Yeah.
Oh, I have a fun tidbit.
Oh,
Like it's world building stuff, not immediately plot relevant, so I can share it.
okay.
So you know how you guys work with the Holy Arcane Empire and all, right?
Ugh, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
It's been an entire chapter. No one has ever brought up the Emperor.
That's true.
Everyone is talking about admirals like running stuff, or like captains and lieutenants doing things via the Navy. But technically, if it's an empire, there would be an emperor.
Is it a
That's
boomy
not
sort of
true. There
situation?
could be an empress. There could be a whatever the
So-
gender neutral version is.
Yes.
I think the reason why that hasn't been brought up is Hector, and to a certain extent Yabisi, kind of thinks that it's just a word and that there isn't an emperor.
Okay.
He thinks there's like a council at the top that are calling the shots, and that at best the emperor role is probably just like an honorific, or it's a concept, like, and that might be like partially Yabisi's like old man optimism, like nobody actually maintains empire for thousands of years. People are cooperative. People don't like being stuck in hierarchies that oppress them, There's gotta be some flexibility at the top,
No.
right?
Technically,
So there's a little
though,
bit of,
the-
like,
it's
that
not
is
1,000
how-
years old. The empire was founded like 300 years ago.
300 years ago, right?
Empire
So it's
Yabisi
very-
days?
My headphones stopped, and I heard 3 hours ago. I was like,
I just
300.
made the empire.
yeah.
Jasper
Yeah.
is 90% certain it's just penguins all the way down.
Yeah, I mean, see, I know Estrogen as a person does not think about the Empire. She doesn't care.
Vana doesn't
Oh no,
either.
that was me
God.
more so
I feel
sharing
like-
like, yeah, you guys as players
No,
obviously
but
didn't
I feel
ask,
like
but-
as players,
wrote it down.
I feel like for a lot of chapter 1, we just had bigger, mostly abyssal fish to fry.
Sure.
And so I as a Cease did not actually give a thought to the Empire's existence at all until we were doing the big decision.
Can't even give one because I'm playing Sprout.
Yeah. I feel
Like,
like
My
I
thing
shot
is,
myself
even when
in
the
the
political
foot.
stuff was happening, right? Like while politics was starting to happen around Phandalin, even the people representing the empire didn't really bring up the emperor.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it's like a King Boomy sort of situation. If you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, where he's just there, but like he's not really there, and it's like there's no war in
I mean,
Phandalin.
Avilo's probably really in charge, right?
Avilo can be in charge of me anytime.
works for Gore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but what if Avilo's lying?
Yeah, it's one of those. What is it called? What is that TV show? The reality TV show with the undercover boss. That.
Undercover.
Oh, yeah. I was
Undercover
thinking
boss.
that, yeah.
It's one of those shows. What's that show where the boss goes undercover?
Also,
Yeah.
like,
We
yeah,
just
like,
meet
Lord
up
could
with the
secretly be
general,
the
find out
Emperor.
it's actually the emperor.
Yeah,
No,
like
I
Lord could
think no,
secretly be
it's
the Emperor
it's
as
full
a
Gobin.
1,000-year-old, as a 300-year-old ancient dragon, just disguised as a human.
Guys, we have a question in chat.
Oh, what's the question?
Aman asks, do you guys play with pants off or are you hypocrites at Pantsless tables? We know Steve's answer.
We know Steve's answer.
We know
Steve is
Steve's
the
answer.
hypocrite
I
to it.
don't play with pants on ever. Okay,
Jeans are pants.
I can send a picture
Yeah.
right now. I'm in shorts. I'm in shorts. Okay.
Please don't send us a picture of your shorts.
Yeah.
Understand that.
So unless I play in the morning, so I usually either have shorts or like pajama bottoms on, which I don't consider pants. I consider
Pajama bottoms are pants.
made of denim pants.
I disagree.
Hey.
Pajama
So,
bottoms
no,
are pants.
No, because of how early in the morning our games typically are. No, I don't wear pants.
I will wear
Pajama
whatever
bottoms
a
are
man wants me to wear. Simple as that.
Damn. Smooth.
I am
Yeah.
wearing pants right now, but for most of the year, I wear shorts.
I'm wearing pants right now. I think for me it depends. Like how I think like 80% of this off streams I have been wearing pants. Sometimes I have shorts or a skirt.
Disappointing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've usually pants, sometimes a skirt if my brain's nice to me and doesn't tell me that it looks awful. But yeah.
I have to wear pants because I do live with another 3 people, and if that door behind me opens, then I'm fucked.
Wear a skirt. Wear
Especially
shorts.
because my
Like,
parents
right
are
now
downstairs.
It's winter and it's cold and such, you know, like.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cold up here where I am, at least. So I think I would
Here
freeze
it
if I were
is.
to wear shorts. Like,
Yeah.
maybe in the summer though.
All right. Next
That's a good question.
We have like 3 in a row from Anna, so yeah.
And I didn't realize you could send them separately, so I put them in one.
I sent questions, but I did never use my
We'll
own.
get
thing,
through
so.
them. Again, to the table. What has been your most memorable moment so far?
Oh shit.
Rattles, easy. Like, come on.
What
Yeah, that
about
was a
Rattle?
good
There's like
one.
4
No,
Rattles.
Blasting some bitches.
Blasting some
every
bitches.
rattle scene.
That
Yeah,
is-
every
Blasting some
rattle scene.
bitches.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also like the point of
Blasting
zipper
some
for
bitches.
Gobin as well.
Blasting
That
some
was
bitches.
funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, memorable. There's been so many.
I
Ah.
think for me, most of the scenes Devana and Jasper had together, so Mike were very memorable.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
for
the
sure.
sweeter ones. Those are always my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah.
The island scene. UBC's first big flashback. Because at that
Ooh.
point we had been very into Fendelver and like we had kind of touched on some of the greater stuff, but then like finding out that's the backstory that like about UBC's parents and his mother and the island and how this what I had written up as just a tragedy, you know, as sort of like a homage to the Onrush, the now prequel game. That meant a lot. That meant a lot. It was really good, and that same episode, other people had similar things, and I'll never forget. I felt like that was a turning point for everyone.
Yeah, that was a good episode. Yeah.
It was a really good episode, and it meant a lot. You know, it really did. Thank you.
Man.
There's too many moments. I feel like, God. I mean, okay. The rattles knowing full Gobin was obviously one of those like.
That was
Because I watch back that clip every now and then, and the level of reaction me and Anna had to that.
Yeah. That was great.
But also, I mean, Paper Bird, classic Paper Bird.
Oh yeah, the little
Talking
the little
Paper
one.
Bird, love it. Also, though, recently, so one of my favorite moments recently was were I something, the cravings of something, whatever Mike said. That one thing about asexuality.
The combo
That one.
between Jasper and UBC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
that was very cool.
I feel like me as Rice, like I liked so many fucking scenes, from like the ones who were funny to me rooting for Devana and Dagon in the fucking inn to like me in the background there says a lot from how I was like, but please, like, and but I also loved all the backstories to people are so great, and whenever I get a glimpse of it, I'm just sitting there like, and
Yeah.
but I feel like for Sprout, if I were to think about Sprout, it would be when Sprout met Hazelnut for the first time, when Sprout got a glimpse to the fact that what they thought was the truth might be a little bit distorted. I mean, which is not good. And when Sprout first learned that people, like fleshy people, as Sprout calls them, are really, really fragile. And it was when Jasper was stuck in like the temple, and Sprout offered to take the Revivify potion, and just ended up wilting trying to get there. And I think that was also a really good moment. I really liked it.
Oh yeah, adjacent to that, when Cry showed up, that was a one as well, where I think we all lost our minds.
Yeah.
The return of
Actually, I mean, yeah. If you think, if you're thinking of like our own characters, like favorite moments of our own character, that's
but
because
I think
I don't know. I feel like Eston doesn't play as much into the heavy moments as Assis does sometimes, but
yeah,
because a lot of it is also trauma. So like,
I do think the dinner table one though. The dinner table one with like BC and Sapphire about like the plot. That is my favorite Eston moment.
I think I love all of those kind of just intimate RP conversations that happen between characters. They all flow so naturally, and like just testament to like how great all of you are at kind of playing this game. It's a privilege, really. Aside from that, like for me, getting to perform, Jasper getting to perform the Leaf poem, and how that kind of tied Jasper in with Runt, a previous character in the Onrush. I enjoyed that moment, kind of tying the two characters together. And then they got to meet, and Runt is alive. And Mark,
don't worry about that.
Runt's just alive in the world somewhere. Jesus Christ.
For me, one of my favorite things is that like moment where Jasper just chose to pull 3 cards and like opened 3 new plot threads at once and like disappeared into the abyss. Because in that moment, I didn't know if Jasper's gonna make it either until the rolls happened. Yeah. And when you run into him and like you working together as like that 3-man like survivor unit, like make your way back. Firstly, the insanity of what was achieved to get back, followed by the very like tragic implication of the fact that Runt got out and went back into the material world looking for Cry.
Yeah.
A couple sessions before that, Cry jumping into the abyss looking for someone. And again being on the polar opposite ends of the world. So, like,
so tragic.
Another big one for me was actually like 2 sessions ago, which was the big build-up Yathandril betrayal, because I've been waiting for that for some time, and when that finally like fully like came to pass, I'm like, oh, it's happening. Holy shit, all the cards are falling.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Druidic bitch.
But also wonderful performance from Magpie, of course, as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What about Steve?
Yeah.
So generic one is like table wise is the rattles blasting some bitches thing. Also getting to flirt with the skeleton man is always fun. And I think personally for Sapphire, the conversation with Yabisi about what it means to be a paladin, and the one before, a couple of weeks before that, which was when he was when he was talking to his dad and all like, I don't think I deserve it. I don't think I believe in myself anymore. And then coming out of it with a actual token of his father's what's it called, proof that you actually you are worthy, kind of thing, was very big, both as a player and as a character. Yes.
Yeah, no, that was also a very good moment. I agree. Like, because just seeing, like, at least for once, one of these, like, higher beings not being cryptic, just being very supportive.
Yeah,
Like,
I like that.
uh,
Yeah, that was
I
nice.
mean, then again, if it is the god of justice, like, there will be some amount of just directness there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, those are all like very cool and fun moments. There's a couple upcoming ones which I'm very excited to see how they play out. But yeah, fun times. I
Yeah,
was
there's
trying
so
to
much
think of more, and
happening.
I'm like, I can keep listing like 10 of them.
Yeah, I think also
Yeah.
for me, I also love, that's just me personally, I love any scene that involves just a big lore dump. That's for me,
Got
it's
you.
like really fun.
Another big
Yeah.
one I really enjoyed was Devana talking to Nedra. That was a lot of fun to me. Like
Yeah.
teaching her control for the first time, growing the
Oh
flower.
yeah, that was
Like,
sweet. I
that
did
was
like
very
that as
nice.
That
well.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think also like at least like some of the funniest
Nedra.
moments I remember are always like people reacting in the background while the scene is going on. Like Mike when we were inviting
Rice
Jack is
Cam. My most memorable moment is
Rice
Rice
Cam.
Cam.
No,
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 this one was
specifically,
funny. Yeah.
specifically when they pulled out the paper, when they pulled out the paper with the text on it, I was like, holy shit.
The text
Oh,
was "I need therapy," and there was a
Yeah,
little sad face with the sprout on its head.
iconic,
And
iconic.
iconic. All right. Moving to next question. Oh, this one's a fun one. If your character were to die in this
Oh yeah.
campaign, what do you think would be the cause of death?
I forgot my own questions. Yes.
Yeah, because you pulled so many of them.
Now, why would you do
write
this
it
to
and
us?
it sent and it just leaves my brain. I was like, what's the next question?
I mean,
And-
my
and-
answer for this is simple. It will be whatever stupid thing Jasper is doing at the time. Like,
Pulling a card.
it will,
Yeah.
it will just be
Yeah.
that. Jasper will die because of the consequences of his actions. That is the only thing that will kill Jasper.
Like, oh, you
Yeah.
have fully forgotten the Raven Queen rank.
No, I relate to that to Jasper. I think
Uh-huh.
for Divana it's not changed much. I think obviously in the beginning it was always going to be self-sacrifice would be their end, but I think with recent events they are very much determined to stay alive no matter what. I think they wouldn't be as quick to sacrifice themselves if it's not utterly necessary. If it would save maybe the entire party, they might. But I think because they've obviously they've got Jasper, they've made a promise to Dagon. They really want to stick around for Nedra. They really want to help save their sister and their dad, and like obviously help the party like save all this. I think it's still gonna likely be some kind of self-sacrifice, but it's not gonna be like as impulsive as they would have been. Yeah, I think
That'll
that's
be more of a calculated sacrifice.
yeah, but also it's either gonna be that or it's obviously gonna be not meeting the quota for their.
I was about to say, like,
return,
were you also
yeah.
going to forget your one? Like,
No,
death
no, no, no,
sack?
no! I didn't forget about that. It's either gonna be those two things. So yeah,
Hey,
that's gonna be.
Maybe I'll fulfill our promise.
for
True.
Sprout, it's pretty easy because Sprout knows that with being a Leshy, it's fine. Their body is sort of, like I can get rid of it if need be. So they wouldn't mind sacrificing if it came to it. And I'm also sure that Sprout might do something impulsive just from like not knowing how the world works around them. So he might just do something stupid by accident, not realizing the implication and die like that. Or if Tan decides to be a bitch and puts me in a cave for a month, Sprout will wilt. And
My
like
Underdark
that
arc.
is a problem. That is a problem that I've realized at some point. I only have one bottle of sunlight and I can only last 1 week. 2 max. So
So Sprout's not
I'm
going to
kinda
the
fucked.
abyss, is what we've heard.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a good idea. Ah, fuck. I mean, last time I almost wilted. Oh, I don't know. It might not be a good idea. I will come back, but who knows what
Didn't you
happens.
get bottle sunlight from Sebastian as well? to
Sebastian.
With?
Yes, I stole 1 bottle, which means I have 1 week of sunlight from when I enter a dark place, and then another week extended by the bottle. So I have
That's
2
fair.
weeks. That's my max. If I get put in a room and forgotten there for 3 weeks, I'm out.
Did Tan warn you about the verbal components of that? You have to sing "Pocketful of Sunshine" when you're drinking.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
okay. I'm sure Sprout will do that if you like to Sprout and tell him. By the way, you have to say this. Sprout will be pocket full of sunshine. And then
No. You have to
Get
sing the
spotted
song.
by the things you're hiding from in the
You
cave and just
have to sing the
immediately-
song.
Oh.
I'm gonna talk about my
Then
sunshine.
if Dagon were to die, it would either be for, again, protecting someone, or if it's how he does his vengeance quest.
No, Dagon's gonna die because I'm going to manifest into the game as an NPC and kill him with my bare hands.
No, that's fair.
Okay, this is a how we're gonna die question.
Yeah.
How do you
Your
think your
character.
Oh.
person is most likely to die if they were to die?
Oh, Yabisi's most likely to die in like the front lines,
Yeah.
protecting the group. Like, it's almost obvious how Yabisi is gonna die. Like,
Just
he
tank.
definitely is going to make some sort of sacrifice and is going to bite off more than he can chew. And that's what's gonna happen. Or it's gonna be some moment to seal. I don't know if Yabisi is gonna live through whatever ritual needs to be done
Oh,
to
right.
seal away the
Like
abyss.
pull a run.
Because of Yabisi's
BC is the new Runt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
can
like
see
if
that.
it's gonna cost Yabisi's life to save the greater world,
Yeah.
or he will die pissing off someone with more political power than him.
I was thinking that too.
He's gonna
I
speak
was
truth
thinking
to
smack talk a
power.
dragon, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna
Well,
speak truth to power.
Almost.
To the wrong person, and that is gonna have, and Yabisi's luck is gonna run out. But if he dies like that, like, oh well,
Oh,
it
well.
proves their villainy, not Yabisi's.
It's true.
Fair.
Like-
Yeah.
With estrogen, I mean, the thing is, almost every single battle, estrogen almost drops. Like, either does go down or almost drops to 0. Like, she loses a lot of health every battle. The 9 armor class will do that to you. So it might just be straight up just nobody can heal her back. But I have a feeling it could very much also just be a bad roll on the Arcane Search table.
Oh.
Because I know that, like, we haven't rolled on it that much, and I know the rolls are just going to go up and up.
My
Also,
chaos that is taken away.
yeah, and I know I'm sure that fucking tally mark means if I get like 4 of those, I die or something. So like,
Oh yeah, the tally. You don't need to worry about the tally
Yeah.
mark for a while. Don't worry.
I've been thinking about it for a while.
Oh, there are
I-
much
yeah.
worse things than death in Tan's game.
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
And when I'm
I
rolling on the
agree.
table of entropy, like,
Yeah, no, the tally mark
Not-
doesn't just affect you.
I had
oh,
a
that
feeling.
makes me feel so
I
happy,
had a
Dad.
feeling.
Not to intrude on your answer, but I actually don't think Esther will die. I actually think that Forgoven has plans for estrogen. and
Actually,
if
that's a fair point.
mechanically- And if mechanically you die, that is
I
gonna
was
spell
talking about
bad
mechanically.
news.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do think that
but
Fulgomin will take over my body and do something with it, or I'll turn into
Right,
some like
right there. Yeah,
abomination.
I
Yeah,
think, yeah, I think it's like fate worse than death, which
100%, 100%.
you know,
yeah.
Those are
Yeah,
always
and-
fun.
What about Sapphire?
Yeah.
Sapphire's going to die trying to fuck
I
a
think
beholder.
I know how Sapphire's gonna die in chapter 3 or 4.
Sapphire's going to try to fuck a beholder and is going to die.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what I was going to say. Is that he's going to try to flirt with something that he shouldn't flirt with. and that's going to it's going to upset the balance or some shit. Maybe he tries to flirt with Tiamat, right? That's the
That's
be
a
all
bad
and all.
idea.
Yeah, that's
That's
going
a
to be
bad idea.
no. That's
Be
going to
if
be
you
level
crit.
Hey
20.
Queen, what do all those heads do?
Yeah, that's level 20 Sapphire, full dragon form, still half the size of Tiamat, and still going for it because
Half is ambitious reach, but okay.
no, Sapphire is going to be a big boy, dude. What do you mean? I'm gonna. Or the other option is, I think the corruption is going to kill them. I think they already have one tally mark of that corruption thing, and even if we can get it healed, I think that is going to be something that more realistically would be a situation that comes up, and also the drive to now consume dragon hearts is
That's
those
great.
things.
Primal
I think
hunger has
Yeah.
risen.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I also think the other thing that can get Sapphire is that part about your story you don't want to give away.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yes. I
That
think
could be a
that
big one, I
is
feel.
is a perfect way to end things and also to introduce the next character. I think that would be
Oh,
hilarious.
is that
Oh,
what you'll do?
maybe.
Okay,
I think
cool.
I think that's
Why are
hilarious.
you trying to
to-
break the BC's heart?
What did you bring back
the
from
thing going,
abyss,
but
Dean?
also I didn't bring anything back. That's the thing. That is the thing. But
And
yeah,
as far as the other NPCs is concerned, I think most of them will have a very similar cause, which is protecting someone or the other.
Yeah.
Kind of for death. Like, because all of them so far have been like very protector types, at least to some PC or the other.
Yeah, I think
will
I
like
also.
How Red became
Yathandril
my
will die
hero.
at Gasper's hands.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know
a
what you
promise.
did, but somehow Red became my hero. Like
yeah.
that
That's
was
great.
the NPC I trusted the least.
I still don't
Out of-
fully trust her, I will say.
I don't fully trust her.
No.
Good.
However, I personally, as a player, would die for Risk. That's what that is definitely.
Of course you would. Of
Risk
course
will have
you
a
would.
different
He's
cause.
you.
Risk,
He's you.
Risk will have one of his top death causes just be panic, I think.
Yeah, which is fair. That's why this is why Devana and Risk are becoming friends.
Yeah, no, that checks out.
Yeah.
Or it might be
yeah.
like Pliskin related. That could be another
That's
one.
what I was
for him.
thinking. I was thinking also Pliskin related.
Or he, goes a little
Some
too
of the
far
wrong-
down his rabbit hole of information.
I think
Yeah.
that is what's most
Learn
likely.
something he
Also correct.
shouldn't.
Yep.
That kind of
I
thing.
Yeah.
still
Accidentally
think we're
say
not done with
Selene's name.
Pliskin.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, of course you're not.
No. He showed
No,
up
he
at the
accidentally
end
just says
as well.
Selene's name, and
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that blows
Oh.
people up. I think it just blows the sky up.
It just blows in his
Boom.
specific.
Oh, just yeah. I mean, with how many
Oh.
like holy symbols? Yes, someone's gonna get pissed off at some
Yeah.
point. Like,
No, very valid.
I've played Hades. I know what happens.
Red could have she could have a work related death. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
The
It does
others
have
are
an
all
interesting line of
yeah.
work.
do
Nice
you
little
do
clue
you
there.
think, Dan? Do you think any of the NPCs right now, the way things are going, the way things you have planned, any of the NPCs could die at our hands,
at your hands.
like at
That's
the,
a
at the PC's
spoiler.
hands? Yeah.
Intentionally or
depends if they're
accidentally.
Yeah,
No,
if they're
intentionally, like,
protecting someone.
If they
Intentionally.
That'd be a
kind of
spoiler.
like betray us or not betray
That's
us,
a
but like,
spoiler.
yeah, true. But
That's
like,
a
do you think there's
spoiler.
potential for something like that to arise down the line?
I mean,
And
like
leave
if
that
one
to
of us
your
gets
judgment.
corrupted, yeah. If one of us got corrupted, for example, if Devana had been corrupted, I mean, you
Yeah.
know what I shared in the chat, what might have happened. So like
Yeah.
depends. Or if I don't know, if Goban does something to Estrogen, or if whoever does,
I guess there are always going to be choices that we make or actions that we take that will contradict the values and beliefs of a certain NPC.
Yeah, because we have like 11 people following us. Then nobody's always going to be on this. The 6 of us,
No.
5, whatever. 5 of us aren't on the same, like 6.
Six.
I don't know that. Whatever. So like that's definitely going to happen. But also I'd like to point out there is a part-time PC who has betrayed us and
Yes.
can very much
Yes.
die by our hands.
Yes.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. There will be no more guest PCs who will do that, I promise.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I'm
The day Callum is a guest, I am
Yeah.
going to be on guard 24/7.
Same.
We're never
I'm
trusting a guest
not-
again.
My
I
You
do
realize
ultimate
not
play will
trust-
just be
Here's the thing: I'm never trusting a guest again. But at this point, I know what they're capable of. Callum is just.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm
I'm
just
not.
gonna
Say
on call
after
with
playing
them.
in 2 seasons of Hallows Vale with them as my
Oh, yeah.
DM and having been absolutely terrified by, especially by Chatterbox. Holy fucking shit!
I love
That makes me
Chatterbox though.
Chatterbox is amazing, but I swear to God, Chatterbox has done a lot of shit.
Yeah,
I
And
yeah.
I
have
mean
to
a lot of
advocate.
shit.
I have to advocate for Callum because I have run. We've done Rose Court, and Aziz, you were also at that table, and
Yeah.
they are delightfully unhinged.
Oh, they're
Oh,
amazing.
absolutely
No,
are.
no
And they
doubt
are
about that. They're amazing.
But also,
They're
yeah.
so invested in the group that I just think that please let Callum guess. We might
I
not
think
trust
they're on
Oh,
the
it's
you
list.
happening.
I
them.
They're
think
already
they're
on the
on the
list.
They're
list.
on
It's
my.
happening.
I
Are
have
they on the
4
list?
people
Okay,
already
good.
on the list.
Also, shout out to
Yeah,
Callum who's in chat right
I-
now.
Yeah.
Like
Hell
literally,
yeah.
they're in chat right now.
I
am
can't wait to make a
ready.
character who's just very shady but very good natured, and you people are just making it worse for yourselves while this
Yeah.
person
Here's
is
the
just
thing.
there trying to help you.
I as a player may not trust that character, but they could be playing anybody and Sprout would still be like, friend!
Yeah.
I need you to
Savannah's
play
also-
Asmodeus for a session.
I mean, I think what we need to do is our characters need to buck up. Somebody needs to get Zone of Truth, detect dots.
I had Zone
So
of
that when-
Truth, but I no longer do.
I mean, you have 3
Okay.
paladins in the party.
Yeah,
I
you
will
should
work
have-
on
you should
it.
be able to
I
get
will.
it, yeah.
I should be able to get it. I think
Please.
it's time for some detect dots, Zone of Truth combined with
I had
Insight.
Zone of Truth literally on me when I lost my cleric levels. It was literally prepared in my list.
Oh.
And maybe
my
you
God.
should have used it on Ythandel
All I
before
have in my head
you lost
now-
your cleric
Use it on
levels.
Ythandel.
Yeah.
I know.
But-
All I have in my
Also,
head now
Let's
is
keep
a.
in mind, Ythandel has a bunch of secret stuff on their character sheet
Oh
that
yeah.
I
lets
have
them
that
get
bag.
around some things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
True.
let's be real. I mean, we're talking about a cult that can throw around 5th level spells
Oh yeah. Yeah.
to mind control people.
Yeah.
Like whatever touched
Yeah.
Devana's sister,
Uh-huh.
like blocked
Well, yeah, the
a
spell.
successful
Yeah.
suggestion
Yeah.
spell.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a lot of power.
Yeah, that's what we said. Don't all go in because it will be a TPK.
Yep.
I clarified, if everyone goes in and an actual fight starts, they're just gonna kill you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say,
Can I
Mike?
just say, like, I am picturing a one shot where we all play essentially chaotic evil bad guys babysitting Sprout for a day.
Yeah.
and see how it pans out.
I feel it's like one of those Disney movie sort of things where like the band of bad guys ends up adopting a child and they're like, oh my god, but they're so cute.
I mean, Mike and I saw in the other Dark Waters that Dagon apparently is babysitting Nedra constantly, so
Yeah.
that's fun. Which also,
I hate
speaking of
it.
alignments, I did like that you said 10 that because of like actions, Dagon's alignment is shifting
Yeah.
towards us. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like a lot of that stuff will happen. Like, for example, because of your influences, Nedra is picking up levels in Monk, or
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
certain influences, his alignment is shifting. That's true for any NPC you recruit. Like,
That's cool. I like
the-
that though.
the class levels, feats, and stuff, they pick up their alignment. Even their mission can eventually change. Like, right now, everyone has a very set goal, essentially.
Mhm.
The way that
If
goal is
Dagon-
set will matter.
If Dagon doesn't like that, he can just come to me and I can do ceremony and revert his alignment back. So it's all good.
Yeah, no, it's nice to know that like we have influence on the NPCs if we get close to them, or if we like have that's really nice and
I'm someone who grew up on RPGs like, Fable, Dragon Age, Mass Effect. This is literally what I do. Like, because it's my kind of thing to like have just a big cast of NPCs and you decide how they grow and what they turn into as
Yeah,
your
that's
allies, because you
nice.
chose them as allies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
We chose most of them.
Yeah.
Next question. I'm assuming this is you, Anna. It just says you know who.
Yeah. Because it's a long
Directed to
question.
me, what is in intensive detail the God's plan?
I did say that there is one that I don't expect an answer for, and it was just a joke.
I will say this: if you elaborate what part of the detail you want, I'll see what I can do for you right now.
What part of the detail I want? I think the most curious about is what I haven't figured out yet is whether or not, because when the in the visions when the Onrush succeeded, someone at least wasn't happy, and then other was like, well, if people fail, it starts repeating, and I'm like, what the fuck do they want us to do? Like, I think that's the thing where I can't figure out, like, do they want us to do like the Onrush, like or whatever event, or is it like when we succeed, that's a problem for them, and so they restart? I think that's what I'm trying to, but obviously that's probably a spoiler.
All I can tell you is, like, obviously, like, different gods also have different agendas.
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
There are certain gods which need the status quo to exist.
Right.
They need
That
things
everything
to
stay the
be
same.
a certain way. And then there would be those who would not want that. And then there would be those who are perhaps looking at this struggle between yes and no and trying to figure out a third alternative.
Yeah, because I think that's the main sort of thing that I got, is that even within like the gods, and even I think within the like good ones, there
Yeah.
is a lot of discussion and like disagreement. That's what I got. That they just also don't really know what they want, or they've not reached a consensus at least.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's why, like, Risk always keeps saying, like, the gods are constantly fighting and arguing and
Yeah,
stuff. So,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, wait. Also, a question from Calum is, I'm assuming for me, Callum, is there something you want to achieve for the NPCs? Well, yes. So most of the recruitable NPCs have like obviously they have like a backstory and stuff, but they also have a quest or a goal that they are pursuing through the story on their own. And the party's interferences in that can change how that quest plays out. Or maybe if someone has a quest that is kind of doomed to fail, the party can help them succeed in it. And depending on how that quest ends, their quote unquote end game state shifts very drastically, where they might get different class levels, they might even get some unique powers or an item, stuff like that. And doing those quests gets them closer and more tightly knit with the party. So when they get to like the very like climactic part of the campaign, or like other like arc ending sections, the things they get as resources and allies shift drastically. Like, oh, you helped Dagon get his revenge, you get something. Oh, he did not get his revenge, something else happens. Or like lots of ways that can shake out. And on the other hand, like for example, like Zelstein's entire thing was like the corruption thing in the Ilmatar church. If that is dealt with, for all you know, a bunch
It's
of
on my
Ilmatar
list.
a bunch of
Yeah.
Ilmatar clerics might show up to assist you in a big battle at some point, like stuff like that. And essentially, all of that building up towards the end, like the story's end will affect the world state drastically before the sequel campaign. And where the NPCs are and which ones are alive and doing whatever, that will also drastically affect the end state. But yeah.
It's wild though that you have that all mapped out. I
Yeah,
am so
it's
impressed.
crazy. Like, we are at the start of chapter 2, and we've been going for
Yeah.
what, almost a year? Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
see,
okay,
I
less
have
than a
two
year. Not,
luxuries.
I don't know.
I have two
Yeah.
luxuries there. One of them is having a lot of this, kind of worked out over 7 years.
Yeah.
And the other thing is a lot of the base hooks and stuff I have literally just taken from shit I like. So
Yeah.
working
That's
those two
fair.
together makes it easier.
But
And
still,
then
it's
I-
impressive to keep everything together and like
Oh, yeah.
that makes sense.
at this point the world's just here. Like after a point, without notes I can be like, okay, this is this arc, this will happen, then this will happen, then.
That's fucked up because I can never do that.
I heard sequel campaign and just thought, yay, we're doing this for like the next 10 years. And I
We
can't
are.
I cannot wait. Let's go.
So there is a sequel campaign. There is a prequel campaign called the Dragon Wars. There's a prequel to that called the Millennium Wars.
I'm aware. And I want to know all of them. I want to
yes,
figure
yes, I
everything out.
know.
Let's just start doing the prequels like simultaneously.
Yeah, at the same time.
Oh,
you know?
no. This shit is gonna get
I
mixed
will
up
say
so
though,
bad.
to
Take it one by
answer
one.
the other thing, to see how I designed this, there are a bunch of just pieces of paper where I have just made madman scrawlings all over them that
It's
makes
just
no
wild
sense to
that you have
anyone
them
but
on
me.
paper. It's
Oh,
like
hold
that's
on.
even more
Not to me.
chaotic.
Not to me. Like,
Like-
I bounce between typing and writing all the time.
Look at
If
this
I have
Oh, but
to-
no,
if
no,
I
they're
get
like
stuck-
stack of just.
Yeah, but to me it's a
Oh
stack.
my
It's not even
dear
organized.
Lord.
It's just a stack.
This checks
Which
out though. That sounds so tan-like to me. I'm not surprised at
And then
all.
there's
really
this whole
tan-like.
notebook, and then there's these two notebooks.
This
See,
is just
I
so
like-
tan.
Or I like doing it digitally because I forget what is where, so I can just hit the search function and just
Yeah.
find what I need. But like
Right,
that
right.
is wild.
Same. It's why I need to like do.
This is a madman right here. It gives me
Yeah.
the vibe of
We
someone
know
who
that.
hasn't seen the light of day in 10 years. Like, you
Well.
open a window and tan hisses. Like,
I mean, when I went to Tan's house, he literally was just staring at me from a window at the corner of a building, just like staring
I-
from up above.
House window is above my buildings. I saw a car or like an auto pull up, and I was just like, "Oh, they're here." And then I was like, "Hey, I can probably fuck with Steve if I call him right." And then I did. Anyway,
Yes.
next
Ah.
question. General table question. Fuck, marry, kill. Rattles, Fulgob, and Sebastian.
Haha. Is there a name? Is there a name?
Yeah.
There's no name.
Okay, I'm going to because I'm going to marry Sebastian. Because they're so loyal. And who doesn't love
Yeah.
loyalty in a spouse? I am going to fuck Rattles because apparently
Cool,
they're the crush of the group, and I want that over everybody else. And I'm gonna kill Forgoben because of the unhealthy power dynamic that he has with my homegirl, Estrogen.
We're best
This
friends.
fool
I don't know
got
what you're
it.
talking
I know
about.
what you're talking about.
Forgoben has got to go.
Also,
have
you
a
picked the
very
hardest
different
one to
answer.
kill out of the three.
I have a very different
Last
answer.
nature.
Yes, please go on.
Marry Rattles because he's great. He's great. He's such a fun time. He's powerful. He's bony. I'm sure that'll be useful. I mean, he might not be great for cuddles, but like I marry Rattles. Fuck Fulgobin because damn what that flesh do.
Uh-huh.
What that endless flesh do. And I kill Sebastian because he just seems a bit sad, and I think he needs to be put out of his misery.
I love that.
My
I
I think
answer
I
would
would.
be-
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go on, Anna. Go on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna change fuck to befriend for my asexual ass, but I think I'm going. It's difficult because on one hand, I would like to keep Fulgoben alive just for information, but I'm gonna have to kill him, unfortunately. I would marry Sebastian. I think for same reason as Hector, and befriend Rattles because he seems so much fun to hang around with.
I would. I'd marry Rattles, fuck Fulgob, kill Sebastian. Same reasoning as a
Copy.
thief.
Hell yeah! Let's go!
So I would. Let's go. Let's go. Fuck. Fuck. Oh, no. Okay. I'm gonna kill Rattles because
Good
it's
luck.
Rattles, guys. What the hell are you on about?
He's the best!
I'm going to marry Fulgoben because they can show me the world. It might not be the world I'm used to, but they can show me the world. And
Magic
by
eyeball, right?
default, that does mean That I have to fuck
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Have to. I'll have to.
I feel like they'd be a very attentive lover. So, you know.
He's one hell of a fucker.
Here's the issue for me. I want to fuck and marry Sebastian. Like, I love that guy.
You
Hey,
can.
marrying
soon as
can
I met
involve
him,
the fucking then.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
The
but
other
then
fuck is like a one-time
wouldn't-
fuck.
But then the problem. No, you know what I would do? I would fuck Rattles. Like, before anything with Sebastian happened, just so that I don't break his heart. Because he's so precious. I love him.
So you also gonna kill
I would
Fulgurman.
yeah, I would kill Fugo, but I'm sorry. I just every time I hear his voice, I want to bitch slap that god. Like, just wanna through the screen, you know?
I just want to shake him for answers. That's all I want.
You can't make a whole dimension.
Weirdly, I also feel like the Lich would be the easiest of the three to kill. I don't know why. And killing a Lich isn't easy.
He
It's
literally, yeah.
about, I
You're
want the
right.
bitch
You're
gone
right.
in a ditch.
Rattles are, of
Like-
those three, Rattles is the easiest to kill.
Yeah, he's the least powerful
Yeah.
actually. Like just pure like entity level wise. Like Steve?
You guys don't even know what Sebastian is. It's great.
Yeah. Steve?
I
Yeah.
love him.
Yeah. So for me, see, I cannot fuck Sebastian because of the pact thing, and it feels like an unhealthy power dynamic,
imbalance.
right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
I'm gonna have to unfortunately kill him because we've established that marrying is also fucking on a semi-regular basis, right? So then we fuck Fulgobin, we marry Rattles, and then we kill Sebastian. Unfortunately, yeah.
It's the right answer. It's the right answer.
And let Sebastian know you said
Also, I can now reveal that I sent in this question.
that. Of course.
Of course.
Technically, a warlock pact is already
Bum, bum,
It's
bum.
fine.
This question
My
is
warlock pact with my
I
wife.
couldn't leave the question without bringing that up. Just say it.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. To this.
Yeah. Also, next up, we have a question for Steve. Favorite character you've thirsted for so far?
I am going to take a minute first to welcome in the Raiders. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hi.
Holy shit.
Hey,
64
Raiders.
Raiders. Thank you.
Oh, holy
Yes.
shit!
Let's go.
I'm so glad they joined
Oh
us.
my
for Fuck,
god,
Marry,
that's
Kill.
insane.
Yeah, they joined us at the horniest time of the
Yes,
question
so-
answer session.
For the Raiders, we are having a Q&A about the first arc of our campaign, Dark Waters, and Steve here is answering a question right now, which is, what character has he thirsted for the most so far, or the favorite thirst so far? Please go ahead.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Hello. Also,
Holy
go watch
shit.
the rest of Dark Waters on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you want to see
Yeah.
what we're all about.
Next episode, Friday.
Totally not panicking right now. But
At the disco?
yeah, that too.
Ay.
Let me do an intro thing really quick, right? I think we should probably do that.
Yeah.
Hi everybody. Hello Raiders. Welcome in. My name is Steve, also known as Sassy Pants. I run Pantsless Tables. We are currently in the middle of a really cool thing, which is we wrapped up our first arc of our long running, which is by long running I mean this is going to run for like 3 years at least. D&D campaign that we run on alternate Fridays. It's called Dark Waters. The first arc was loosely inspired by the Lost Mines of Phandalin, with a lot of homebrew stuff involved, and I figured, or like we decided that why not do like a quick Q&A with the cast. Not just so that we can do like a small little wrap up at the end of it, because it was a big arc. It took us 6 months to get through it, and lots of burning questions and lots of cool things. If you like the vibes here, we run games 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. and a bunch of games from D&D to Candela Obscura to Blades in the Dark to Tales from the Loop, all that cool stuff. Thank you for the rate again. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we're also India based, and one of our primary goals is to shine a spotlight on underrepresented talent, focusing on Asian performers. Which is why 50 to 70% of the cast on all of our games is I try for them to be Asian as possible, or at least people of color for sure. So thank you again. Anyway, to answer your question, the character I've thirsted over the most. I love how we're going from that sincere introduction to just me being horny on main.
Now people need to know what they're here for.
Yeah. We're here to fuck all the monsters. That's what we're here for. I think easy answer is going to be Rattles, right? The one who I've thirsted over the most. But I think outside of that, if we're looking at like maybe like the PCs or like the NPCs that we've encountered so far, it'll probably have to be like a tie between Red and Onslow. I think personally. Red because
interesting.
Yeah,
I
mean, there's a reason.
Did you not get that?
The second session.
Yeah, literally from like the moment. Yeah.
There's a
that
reason,
was half a year ago. I don't remember.
But yeah, no, that checks out.
Go
Like,
on,
Red makes
Steve.
sense as well. Also makes sense.
Yeah. So this is the reason why it's Red is because I've been partial to Redheads my entire life. Blame Gwen Tennyson from Ben 10 since I was a child. That's like that is the thing. And also Onslow because Big Crocodile Man do Big Chomp. That's that's basically
Chomping.
I think I remember when Tan first described Onslow, and I think you were immediately like, "I'm going to talk to that guy."
You blitz past all of the plot. You just like, hold on.
You make a beeline.
That's who Onslow is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now it all makes okay. Yeah. Pats, I have very bad
Alright.
memory. I forgot that is the same person as the. Oh my god.
I know. Next question though is from Mike. Has Jasper ever written fan fiction, and if so, about who?
That's mine.
I think, has Jasper ever written fan fiction? He may have dabbled in a couple of Hike and Pike stories.
So there one written in our chat.
Yeah, there is one in the chat. There may be a couple of others lying around.
There's a couple others I've seen.
But yeah, so maybe that'll come to light at some point. But yeah,
Jasper is the new best writer of the year back in the era, you know.
I like the idea because I think we said that Ivana sometimes puts like pressed flowers and leaves in Jasper's notebook as like a little like I like the idea of them just opening it. Normally they don't even look, but they see Heike Pike's name like what the hell, and then just read like 2 lines.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna close that again. Like, I'm just gonna
oh yeah,
leave
you
that
will
where I
have
found it.
100% have like seen that and so.
Yeah.
When I get to know some of the other NPCs a bit more, maybe there'll be some other NPC fanfic.
I mean, fan fiction doesn't have to. It can also be like you also have like really sweet like.
Oh yeah.
I think of.
All right. Next question is for
Such
me.
a cool question.
Yeah, that is a great question. Thank you, Anna. And next one is from me. This is an interesting one because I'll have to think about this one. But if I could choose one PC to take control of as an NPC and put on a villain arc, who would it be and why?
You nearly did.
I nearly did with you, but
Yeah.
okay, let me think. Oh, this
It's
is
literally one of the options.
by the way, this question was given to us by Minty Fresh Breath.
That was me.
I figured.
Oh.
I think I would. I think I would pick either Sapphire or Sprout.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yo,
Sprout on a
Sapphire
villain now could be
in full
amazing.
dragon form as a villain. Holy shit!
That's
After
what I was
consuming,
thinking.
Like Sapphire, full fell again to the abyss, has kind of like lost faith in Bahamut again, and is essentially undoing all of his work while also then eventually having to fight Gore.
oh no.
Wow.
Big
Okay.
question.
That's cool.
Why would you do it to Sprite though?
Would Sprout end
Yeah,
up a villain?
I was getting to that. Sprout, after learning their truth, and growing in certain ways based on said truth,
Nice.
deciding to make a few tough calls for the sake of a greater good, but while doing that, starts to lose him along the way. And eventually, what the party runs into is this, half rotted, corrupted Leshy who
That's fucked
speaks
up.
only in their minds, but it's all like echoed responses of things the party has
I
said to
love
them in the past.
that.
So
I
if
mean-
someone's like, "Oh, Sprout, come along," the entire party's hearing that, and let's say Yabisi saying that, like in Yabisi's voice, everyone hears it
You're
come
evil.
from Sprout.
Wow.
Yes, I
You're
know. I like
evil.
making villains.
I mean, like, but it tracks a little bit with the little vision,
Write my
right?
backstory.
Why would you do that to
And-
our boy?
No, because
that
there's someone
would
in that
connect with
vision.
like
Yeah.
that would connect with both Divana and Yabisi's plot arc also, and also
Oh.
Estrogen's heritage partially because Eladrin. So like a lot of like things to like play into there. So yes,
I'm no
that would
longer
be my
nature
answer.
domain, so I don't
Because
know
also
that.
like I mean,
Yeah.
apart from the fact that you did almost get Divana, you could very much get Estrin. I mean, so there was one point in the campaign where I did message Stan being like, I have a feeling like I might just have to like make Estrogen give herself fully to Full Gobin and then do a new character. In which case, you would literally be doing that maybe with Estrogen, right?
But the thing there would be Estrogen won't come back as a villain then. She would have
Fair.
a very different role to play if that happened.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
Because like Fulgobin wouldn't send any of his power to be directly an obstacle to anyone in the world, really.
Yeah, no.
And
More
same
of a side
like,
antagonist, like who
yeah.
just.
And yes, I will continue with that honorable mention to Zivana as well, which is it almost happened where, yeah, corrupted by cult, and you turn into a full cultist, then you have to fight Zivana, their sister and father all together. You're muted.
A couple options where it was either you would take over if that happened, or I think we said that Divana would be out of running for a couple months and then come back with obviously different, like kind of a separate agenda, but still kind of wanting to be with their friends. So that would have been interesting because then you'd have to. I think I also said to Tam that would be interesting for Mike as well. Like, do you allow them to come back? Or does the whole party accept them back, knowing that they also have their own separate agenda? Because they would have. Obviously, they would have then gone there with the intention like, I want to still protect my friends, and that's what the cult creep would have told them.
But then, Jasper would have had a promise to keep, and then that would have caused friction with Dagon being like, "No, we're not doing that," and like,
exactly.
He would obviously look for another alternative rather than do that because that's how he works for himself, right?
Yeah, but, we had like 6 or so options.
But now
and
we have the void, so that can still be an angle.
It's still someone on the table. Yeah.
But then if that happens, though, the party won't even know they're fighting Divana. They'll be fighting a creature from the void. Because memory fuckery. But
Well, though I do still think I mean there is. I think that conflict is anyway entering the party, even if we are not aware that Divana needs to feed the void.
Yeah.
We are now kind of aware that Sapphire needs to eat dragon hearts. So in some ways that conflict is something
Divana is going to tell, because last session we obviously talked about we need to put more stuff on the table, like he said so as well, and Ivana said so before as well. So Divana will in next session bring that up to say hey, listen, this is what I've been informed by both Jasper and Dagon is what my deal is, just so you know. So
Yep.
they are very aware of that. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Next question for the table.
Yes,
Thinking about the characters rather than their powers or abilities, if the party was transported into a completely different game system, which one would you like to see them in and why?
Oh, that's a good question.
I would like to see Yabisi in Exalted. A lot of my flowery descriptions that I do for Yabisi's battles come from playing Exalted for like over a decade, over 2 decades.
Fair enough.
Because in the Exalted system, they have what's called stunt rules. And the more elaborate and interesting you describe your actions, the more bonus dice you get to your dice.
Ooh.
So, as opposed to, say, D&D, where your difficulty will get higher if you try to add any kind of flourish or anything mechanically, baseline.
Of course.
People are much more flexible now than they used to be. But, you know, in the early 2000s, and when Exalted first came out, it was very much, if you tried to do anything interesting, any interaction with the environment during combat, your DC would skyrocket, and your chances of failing. So it really made old D20, like 3rd edition D&D combat, very boring, because most GMs would punish you if you tried to make any kind of outside the box other than "and I hit." So I got really into Exalted. I played a lot of Exalted, and I got very, very used to having flowery and interesting interacting with the environment description combat. And I do that with Yabisi, and Tan is totally into it. Sometimes we get the advantage, and it's wonderful. I'm so glad that I have this opportunity. But I would very much love to see what Yabisi would be like in Exalted, or even 7th the first edition, not the second, because when I'm to understand the second, it's kind of unplayable unless you house. I would love to see Yabisi in a system that awards dice or bonuses based on
Flourish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
I think it would be going either 2 ways. I think the first thing would be Wild Sea. I've not played it. I was supposed to play it, so I made a character. I went to the rulebook and it looked pretty cool. So I obviously have not played it, so I don't know exactly. But from the vibes I got, I feel like Wild Sea would be a really fun one to drop Divana into. But going the complete opposite way would be Heart, because Heart is very much a game. Yeah, because Heart is very much a game where pretty much always at the end, either your PC dies or you have to hand them in because they become unplayable because of kind of abilities that they got, and it's very much a like, how do you destroy your character kind of thing. And with how Divana has been, like going like the self-sacrifice and stuff and diving into things that they shouldn't be looking into, I feel like Heart is, I mean, if you're gonna die anyway, might as well do it in a game where you're supposed to. So like, I think that would be a perfect fit as well. But yeah,
that's so fascinating, because there's no death in Wild Sea.
Yeah,
death is a voluntary.
Yeah, so that's two. Yeah, it's two very opposites. Yeah.
I love that. That's
honestly,
so
like
cool.
Heart was going to be one of my answers as well. I mean, I think it also fits Estrin pretty decently, but even the whole party, even the whole party, only because I feel like the party, how they are is partially shaped by the fact that this is a Tan game, and Heart would just also work very good for a Tan game. So in that, so the whole party would fit in. So otherwise, I would also just, I feel like the way our archetypes would shift slightly and work in a JRPG based system would be very good. So I would actually want the whole party to be in either Fabula Ultima or Ryutama.
Here's funny, because I was thinking of my 2 answers were this. I first made Sprout for a Pathfinder game. So that's where I got the whole thing of Leshy and the nature behind it and all of that sorts of stuff. But I think Sprout would look amazing in Fabula Ultima, because in the last, I guess, 2 years, I've been playing a lot of Fabula Ultima, and I I really loved some of the classes there, and I feel like the
Yeah.
funniest thing would be to see Sprout having either the gourmand or the gardener as their
The
class,
arbor,
and I
there's
think that would be
the
amazing.
there's the arbormancer or whatever, because like when I played a Fabula Ultima one shot, I was playing that class, like partially.
Yes,
That's
I
just a
think it
slow
would be
Sprout.
really funny to just see Sprout cook up this like food who, I don't know, give some sort of ill effect or actually makes plants grow, like you know, and the plant does something, and I think it's really, really fun. But yeah, JRPG sort of thing. And then there's just the Pathfinder, which was meant for Sprout when Sprout was first made. Oh, I also remember the day when we had the session 0. First thing I thought, I was like, "Oh, I made this character for a Pathfinder," but I don't really get to play the game yet. So what if I were you, Sprout? Hey, Tan, can I be a Lashy? And it all went downhill from there. It all went to shit from there.
I will say, funnily enough, in the Pathfinder campaign I'm running, I have a Leshy in the party who is also from Sylvanus Glade.
I think
Oh
I'm
my
going to go kind of
god!
left field.
I have a brother. Ah!
Now,
His name
like
is
I
Gladys.
haven't played the Fallout TTRPG, but obviously I know the Fallout setting, and I just love the idea of this like found family that we have that is all about kind of heart and trust in each other, like in that kind of post-apocalyptic brutal world. I think there's something kind of contrasting that would be beautiful in kind of playing in that kind of setting.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Sprout will die first.
Oh,
I will say
also
Jasper would. Oh wait, go ahead.
Thirsty Sword Legends only because it's my favorite TTRPG. And I mean, come on.
I think
I-
Jasper would make. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I think Jasper would make an excellent Blaze in the Dark character.
Yeah, I did think that's not like an
Yeah.
individual
I can see
character.
that.
Yeah, I think for like any
Yeah.
kind of like Forged in the Dark, particularly Court of Blades, particularly Blades in the Dark, I think Jasper is like the perfect. I would love to see Jasper in like a heist style,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
steampunky, Regency. You know.
I'm hearing that you want the heist to go wrong.
Well, no, because like I just really like once I started to get to know the character and realize, oh, we're dealing with a like a kind of like a more of a criminal element, more of a con artist than your typical bard. I was like, because I was reading Court of Blades and I was reading Blades of Dark at the time, and you know, I just if you ever end up playing those games, you know, I think Jasper would.
I feel like I mean, it's not just Jasper, right? It's even Runt. It's both of my characters in this world.
Yeah.
Would be great.
Or
Yeah.
the inevitable
Runt
one shot
as
that we
well.
played with Steve. I think that Jasper would fit in that inevitable.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Inevitable.
So Steve, what about
Yeah, I was gonna
Sapphire?
say. Speaking of Steve,
Yeah, Steve, what systems do you think about Sapphire?
Steve, you would be chatting in
Yeah,
chat.
Sapphire would be perfect, I think, in Wanderhome. Just chill, cool vibes, just not worrying about their dad or the fucking abyss or the other things or whatever, just wandering from one home to the other, hence Wanderhome.
And there is lore. Well, there's also lore in Wanderhome about the dragons being slain and being gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
That's an entire like subplot in the history of Wanderhome. And so you wouldn't even have to leave that story behind. That could just be something that you're healing from and that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to that same point, like Sprout fits right into Wonderhome. You just shove a Sprout in there.
I
He's right there.
guess, true.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Rattles and Sebastian in Yuziba's bed and breakfast. And also
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Where's my chunky? Oh no, it's in the other room.
and also
I'm here
Aegon
as a
and Red
guest.
in Call of Cthulhu.
yeah, I want to see that. That'd be great.
Oh,
Yeah, I can
One
see
of them's the
that.
investigator, the other's
I can
already
see.
afflicted.
I can.
There's
Yeah, I can see
Dark
red in
Ages?
yeah, Dark Ages. That's what I can see that, but also I can see red in like Delta Green or something. It's
Yes,
similar.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like Yeah, Red would also fit in like a Arkham horror setting.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that.
fun times. All right. Next question is me. Okay, this is a big one, but
Me?
what inspired you to come up with Dark Waters and the Onrush?
Oh no.
You
7 years in one answer.
Just trauma.
see, when I was born.
Oh,
It all became when I was a little sprout, and
No, so that's why like it is a long-winded thing, but I'll shorten it. Essentially, I have like this is like back when I was in school. I always wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons and get into TTRPGs, and none of my other friends were nerdy enough to want to do that. And also back then, entry level into D&D was kind of tough, especially in India. Like you wouldn't know where to go, where to start, stuff like that. So I would just watch random shit online, and everyone would be like, oh, go watch Critical Role, stuff like that. And I didn't do that for a very long time till afterwards because I didn't know the
Yeah.
game then. uh I started by watching TFS at the table and them playing D&D, and because it was already people familiar to me and stuff from other like things. And watching them, I had a fantastic time. I imprinted heavily on all of their characters. And as that got like towards its end, essentially, like midway through itself, I was like, this is fun. I want to do this. I bought like the starter set for Fandelver off of Amazon. And after that, goaded 3 of my friends into playing with me. I learned the rules and everything. We printed out these old PDFs for all of the stuff. And while I was working on that, like while I was like running the module, it's like it just had like a starting thing, like they tell DMs, right? It was like, oh, put in your own flavor, add like, add some like changes here or there, whatever you think would fit well for the party. I'm like, I'll do that. And then
And
I
then you
was like,
did just that.
I was like, there are only like 5 name buildings in this town. What if I named all of the other 15? And then like I started working from that. And then I was like, I'm bad at naming things. For naming, I was then like, hold on, I need to find names out. And then I started using names from TFS at the table because I'm like, ha ha ha, I know this.
Names are difficult, yes.
Yes. And like, initial plot hooks and stuff like, oh, by the way, guys, this is Nedra, this is Dagon. Like it said, like started like filling the world up one by one. And then me being like, oh, wait, but I'm actually running a campaign. I'm not just, running a fan shot or whatever. So I realized the wiki pages did not have enough information to actually run a full character. So I had to make it from scratch. And then I was like, okay, let's flesh out Dagon. Oh, look, there's an entire Google Doc for one character. Oh, let's flesh out Red Oak. There's another Google Doc. And
I
that
know
just
this feeling so well.
that kept happening to the
This
point
is
where
so fascinating.
all of the hooks for all of the things in the campaign are hooks from like TFS at the table, at least the early like few ones, and a couple in chapter 2 as well. But what they imply and where they go is completely made up and different now, because like that just things didn't go a certain way in the show. So like I wrote things a different way so it fit my thing. And while I was doing that, I'm like, but why are they doing shit like that? And then I would make, oh, this is the empire. Why are they the empire? Like they need to control territories. Then I made up territories. I made a mainland, and like it kind of like spiraled from there. And while I was doing that, I was like, oh, gods and pantheons. And I started thinking about those. And it ended with me writing the genesis of the world. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to create a one shot for this so my players can play through it. And that turned into me creating a big timeline. For these many years, this happened. Then the dragon was happened for 500 years. Then there was about 280 years of peace. And then Onrush happens. For 40 years, the world recovers. And then Dark Waters happens. After Dark Waters, a few centuries later, the sequel happens. And like there's layers upon layers of that building on and on. And now it's gotten to the point where I was just like, oh, I have all of these threads in my head at all times. So if a player comes up like, oh, I want to make a character like this, I can be like, okay, I have like 3 cities where I can tie you in. That we can figure something out, and then I finagle my plot around. Uh, the Onrush, funnily enough, is a event that existed in TFS at the table, but they never showed it. It was mentioned like, oh, years ago, this big abyssal incursion happened, people died, horrible things happened. And I was just sitting there while like playing with my players, and I was like, I wonder what that would be like. Emerald City. We call it Emerald Valley. So, we can do an entire little adventure while it was still Emerald City, but it has to be tragedy. And a lot of the tragedy of that I actually pulled from, again, like other game sources and stuff. Like, there's this game called Halo Reach, which is literally beset in tragedy from the start till the end. And it's a completely different vibe. It's a sci-fi thing, but the tragedy of playing that game is it's like the fourth one like they released, so you already know how it ends because they need to lose for the next thing to happen. And even now, like, you guys had a different experience of starting in the Onrush, but when I made it and my players played it also, like, it was very much it ends like this because we know that there is an Emerald Valley here. We know what the Onrush is historically. We are fighting this. We're trying to see how many people we can save during this, but it is a tragedy at the end of the day. And writing the Onrush was a very different experience because of that. But yeah.
I think it's cool though that you're like, here's this historical event. I wonder what it looks like. Let's put my players through and play out. I think that's really cool,
Yeah.
really cool approach. And I think that is something that I would love to see in more stories where they go like, I mean, obviously, I think recently in like Critical Role, for example, that they have had bits where they go back and like show things how they happened. And I think that's really cool. But yeah, that's definitely fun to now as a player playing Dark Waters. Then you and also I've played the Onrush. There's like so many things you're like, oh, like because of this happened, or like that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
like,
I'm impressed.
But essentially, yes, it's just me pulling things from things I like, turning into this. The only thing that has become like completely its own like beast now has been the Dragon Wars campaign I'm running on Pathfinder for my players, because the Dragon Wars are something that's never mentioned anywhere other than me coming up with, oh, by the way, dragons fought for 500 years, and then me making a story around that. But yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
yeah,
It's cool.
long-winded answer, but yeah.
Really cool though.
That was my question. Hi, I wanted to hear you rant, by the way. Biota's like,
Yeah, we love it when people yap.
We love the yap.
yeah,
This was fascinating. Like, I feel like
it is. It reminds me of my own kid because I have like a full library of characters shelved together.
All of
like,
my writing
I
comes
never
from me
made
being
a
frustrated
campaign.
that there was never
like,
enough.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
We
like
don't-
to sit and be like, what if? And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. I recognize the process as a writer. I know the process very well. Where you go like you start here and then you go there and then you and especially like, oh, there's one Google Doc for a character. That's another one. But like to then see it all get together, that's always very interesting when everything comes together. And especially
like
if you're
putting it
after
together
and also like if you have the flexibility to shift it around based on what players do, that's also really cool.
I do think that is the biggest part about like DMing stuff like this.
Yeah,
especially, right?
absolutely.
Like, just the flexibility to like change the plot or arc.
Yeah, but
like,
you've
along
got
the
plenty
way.
of DMs who are so like stuck to the way things they want to go that they
Yeah.
try and go through hoops to like get
Like,
people to the
No,
to
so
that
that's the
point.
thing. Like, in my opinion, like railroading to like a linear experience is still fine.
Yeah.
Because I also do that in certain places where I'm like, okay, the plot needs to expand in a certain direction.
Yeah,
certain
obviously, but yeah.
major events need to happen. But there is a way to do that while still giving player agency.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Yes, let's say this person has to die on this day. That death still happens. The way it happens might change. The people witnessing it might change. Like, there's a lot of factors the players can still influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same in games that I'm written and I'm writing. It's kind of like those things are bullet points to be reached however they are reached, rather than like a linear path to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I've told you guys this multiple times. It's like the abyss is to the north. You know where you're going. You know where naturally the plot is going to take you. Like now, like 3 different quest hooks took you to Bulkard. Like, yes, your DM is telling you go to Bulkard, but all of the shit you're doing along the way is just going. Like, I didn't plan for Divana to be Red Ritual in chapter 2, like start. Like,
no, but it's
I mean,
Yeah, but
I
it's like
doubt
Doctor
you
Who,
planned
right?
for the abyss to like open up in chapter 1. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like Doctor Who, right? Fixed points in time that are not that cannot be changed, but like you still get to experience them from different ways. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go the long way around.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my rant. Uh, frustration of writing born out of frustration of not enough writing. The end.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And I will also say to anyone but the players, for spoiler reasons, do go check out TFS The Table. It is great. But yeah. Next question is for Anna.
Oh, okay.
What do you think will be the next step for Divana now that they have lost their powers?
Ooh. Well, I don't think there is much to do but acceptance. I think there's very much obviously it's going to be very difficult because they now have to harm people, and obviously they had the rule at least to not harm humanoids, and that's going to be a very morally challenging thing. But I think also, as I said before, they've now got this sort of new drive of like, I have to stay alive to like help, like if only for people I promised and I want to stick around for, but also to they really want to help their sister and obviously their father. I think what they saw at the cult was very shocking to them and very kind of in a way like eye-opening, where they're like, okay, I think they came back with it from that with a sort of sense of like, okay, what my morals tell me and what I want to do doesn't matter anymore. This is war, or like maybe not specifically those words, but this is very much to feel like, okay, you know what, there's so much at stake. I cannot afford to cling to certain things anymore. Like I'm gonna have to let certain things go, and that's still gonna be very difficult for them. I think they will go through a lot of I mean, even now they're not doing too well mentally, I will say that, and I think that will come up in next session or maybe after as well, especially when they will have to take a humanoid life for the first time. I think that's going to be very difficult. But yeah, I think they've come back from it with almost a sense of confidence, but not. Yeah, it's more. I think, or maybe less confidence and maybe more determination and a kind of I guess really strong willpower, because I think that's what happened at the temple as well, where obviously they broke through. That was also roles. They broke through that sort of mind control, but then when the Red Witch showed up, it was very much it's like, I don't care what it takes, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Like I need to. Whereas previously they might have been a bit more worried about it, and now it's like, no, I have to stay alive. I have to get up. I have to get out. And I think, but I think it will be. I think they will start to realize how much of their personality, or not personality, maybe their being revolved around being a healer. I think they will, because obviously they worked at an apothecary before that as well, and they very much, they really liked helping people. So I think it's going to be really tough for them to come to terms with, like kind of, I guess maybe a little bit similar to what Sapphire was going through, where it's like, who am I without this big part of me? And that's something that I can discover as well. But yeah, it's going to be a little of a bumpy road, but I think it's, in as much as it was a really traumatic and bad event, I think it's also shifted them into their mindset they need to be in for this adventure.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because I feel like the next time they're in like proper quote unquote combat will be like the big difference maker. Where
I think
combat with like people or people adjacent.
Yeah, they still do what they need to do, but I think it's going to be very rough. And I think from there on out, it's gonna
post combat will be rough.
Yeah, post combat will be very rough, and I think, but that from there on out, I guess, like as bad as it sounds, they will get used to it, or like they'll, and I think they'll have the luxury of having a lot of people around who care about them and who can comfort them, and also just having the drive of like, there's this little dot on the horizon where it's like, I need to save my family, and I need to stay alive for this amount of people. Yeah,
for sure. I will see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Maybe in chapter 2 itself.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I once again, I don't expect him to make it to the end of the campaign, but I still don't. I'd be fucking
by the way,
weird,
at this point, almost every player has messaged me this.
Yeah. I think, definitely.
All I'm saying is that's a lot of assumptions for a party with 0 deaths. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but yeah. I mean, we're
No,
just
but-
into chapter 2 and I nearly died, so like.
We've had near misses. We've had some near
Near
Yeah.
misses.
misses
Yeah.
are exactly that, they are misses.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
also,
well, yeah.
next question for the table, each person should answer favorite NPC.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
tough.
Oh.
Rattles.
Okay.
For me, it's
Rattles.
I
I mean,
guess
Rattles.
100%.
Rattles
That's
feels like an
tough.
easy way out. I feel like I should give
Yeah,
a more
Rattles.
nuanced
Rattles
answer.
feels the easy way. I think. Yeah, that's.
I also love Sebastian.
Mm.
Sebastian
I
is so.
don't see him much, but I enjoy every interaction we have, and that's Prince Tristan.
And
Yeah.
I like Prince Tristan a lot. And
Tristan's great. He's always with the party. He hasn't been taken on missions yet, I think. That's all. But yeah.
yeah, it's just that
I think for me, and this is purely because of the history with Runt and how they are kind of
Yeah.
like the opposite sides of the same coin. I think it's Dagon, and actually getting to see more of his character, and kind of like him as a character, which I wasn't kind of allowed to do as Runt, because he was my enemy and all this, somebody doing the same thing as me, but for very different reasons.
Seeing that he's still
so-
here and doing things like, yeah.
Yeah, like I've enjoyed that from an NPC perspective, like
For
that whole
sure.
dynamic.
Also, to answer the Tristan thing, funnily enough, there's going to be a pretty decent chunk of a Tristan segment once you get to Balcard.
Ooh.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I can imagine.
Mm.
I think obviously the more obvious answers obviously were Rattles, and then I guess the NPCs that Divana hangs out most with is Nether and Dagon. But I think if I leave the obvious answer aside, after that session, Risp has absolutely become like I would die for that NPC, and I've been wanting to talk to him for so many sessions.
3 sessions later, you finally
And
get
he's so
the convo.
cute.
No, in more than 3 sessions even. And it's just when
yeah.
and when you started like talking about it, I was like, I love
The
this
wildest
guy.
thing was also, I remember this because in the like the time between our sessions for like the Divana rescue thing, you straight up told me one of your reasons for making it back is so you can have that conversation.
Yeah, because I was like, because I knew there would be a wealth of knowledge there with Risk that might be very
Yeah.
important to us for multiple reasons we've also discussed. Those are very deep, and I'm not going to discuss now.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, if Divana dies, I have no logical reason to talk to Risk. And I'm very much, as much as I know a lot, like I'm the lore keeper, I know a lot of stuff. I am very much someone who sticks to what a character knows.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if Divana dies and bring him back up, there's no reason this NPC has, or my PC has, to talk to Risk.
They
and that would
definitely not, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I have to make it back, if only so I can just finally talk to Risk.
Oh.
And I'm so glad that I did.
Mm-hmm. So we have what? Sebastian for Rice. We've got Dagon for Mike.
Also,
We've got
Eglif and
Tristan.
Sprout are as a
dynamic.
I love Eglif. It's really nice.
So
Please watch your final on.
I think for
Just
me
like
also,
Goblin, I'm going to hit you.
yeah, I think for me also it's a tie between Sebastian and Red at this point. But I think leaning more towards Sebastian because of the conversation that we had. But I think Red, like as Sapphire, I think Red as Steve, Sebastian.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, you know what? Okay, technically multiple people, but the set of like people turned items, just all of them.
The Mimic Collection.
Oh.
Yeah, the Mimic collections is Sander House and Lancey, and
yeah.
I think every time they're on, I just feel like a little bit of like delight in me. I personally have not even talked to Lancey, who is sitting in my head for like what 4 sessions now at least.
Yeah.
And literally last session I was thinking, is there a way I can bring up Lancey? But I couldn't figure it out. So he doesn't have a lot of use cases. But one of my goals
He's
is to
surprised.
start. Well, yeah, one of my goals is to start talking to him more because I love the mimics. I think they're just delightful.
Fair enough.
Also,
Oh.
honorary mention to Narcissus.
Ah,
Of
yes.
course,
Oh,
yes.
Narcissus.
Good boy.
Yeah.
The goodest boy.
Oh
I
my
love, I
god,
love, I love
am
that.
Playing with
Yeah.
Nedra and
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that he actually came with us though in the end because like it's such a
Yeah.
because
Puppy.
when we met him in a cave, I was like, how is Tan gonna let me take this dog?
Yeah, like
home? 'Cause, yeah,
Narcissus was just
Yeah.
some wolf when we met
yeah,
him.
we just found. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
because
like,
of
we
DM, I
could be,
get to
like-
pick multiple favorites because these are
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them are technically your favorites. They're your little children, you know? It's
exactly
like, you
like
made
it's been
them.
No, nobody treats their children like that.
Firstly, Zelstein is very much up there because she's the first ever character sheet I made
Oh,
ever.
that's nice.
Aww.
Zelstein. Oh,
So
Oh,
she's
Zelstein.
up there. There is obviously Dagon. There is Rattles because I just love doing the voice. And
Yeah.
same with Sebastian. I love doing the voice. But then there are a couple of NPCs you guys haven't met yet. You'll meet in like.
Victor, I want to meet Victor.
Oh yeah, Victor's a fun one.
And Will, we need to meet Will.
Oh,
Spoilers, guys,
yeah,
spoilers.
spoilers.
I
yeah.
hate this.
Both of you know that is one of my favorite NPCs, by the way.
Yeah.
His entire arc is so good. Like, I fully made him from like scratch, and he is the bestest, saddest boy.
Aww.
And he's great. Then there is a god that Anna knows you haven't met. I love playing him.
Thingy.
yes.
Yes.
Death god, yes.
Yeah.
And and Gore, obviously, but yeah. And then one NPC who won't show up until chapter 4 because fun.
Fair. Yeah, I'm excited to meet more NPCs and more.
Yeah. Oh,
mods.
chapter 2, the party size is gonna double.
Wow.
That's
my
not
God.
tenable. What do you mean? We can't keep 11 more people with us.
Yeah, we
We're
can.
fighting
You
a war,
Are
apparently.
you are in a war. You need 11 more people. You're barely a platoon right now.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no.
we can't take everyone along with us all the time. This is
Yeah, we
Yes,
can.
We can, we just
can.
can't stealth
Adopt.
ever.
Yeah.
We adopt all of them.
When
we
you
take them
get
home.
to like the bigger battlefields, you'll be like, okay, we can send 8 of our NPCs to this place. 8 of us will go here. You will need to spread that much out, and then you'll be
you're
like, oh,
Fire Embleming us. Oh my god.
yes. And it's
Yeah, you
you'll
don't
be like,
remember that from
oh,
session
look, I have
0?
30 people. Let's go. I'm so glad.
It's becoming clearer to me as it goes on that
When
we
you-
are being Fire
okay.
Emblemed.
Yeah,
like
I-
a lot of my
well, I
top
thought-
NPCs you
I was
haven't met
thinking
yet.
What
Not
about your
Fire
bottom
Emblem. I think the
NPCs?
one that I named was it
A few
Vagrant
of them
Story?
already.
Suikoden.
Suikoden. Yeah,
Suikoden was
yeah,
what
you
I
bring
said.
that up. Yeah.
I name dropped Suikoden, and you were like, exactly. And I was like, okay. And that's the reason why I've been much more cavalier. Because normally when I play D&D, I don't Pokemon at all. Because I know as a GM how much stress it is. But when Tan
No, I like
told
that.
us that
Don't
he
worry.
was
Yeah.
I
going
love
for
it.
Suikoden,
Yeah.
I was like, and you know,
Also-
like,
also,
if
I
it was
don't know
a
if
different
Agent P is
campaign,
in the
I
chat,
might not have
but
convinced
there's
Narcissus to come with us. You know,
Yeah.
but honestly,
I don't think
I
they
don't
are.
yeah.
I don't think
I had
Agent
to
P is
think
here.
Animals.
There is
Yeah,
one
that was
NPC that
useful.
will come up later, which I will clarify. They have never played with that NPC ever. They've only heard me talk about them, and it is their absolute favorite NPC of all time. No questions.
Damn.
I also am curious when we meet the I forgot his name, the noble guy that Mike and I because I think if you want to ever punch someone, this is the one.
Oh no, that
The one.
Yeah.
that thing you both were privy to, that exact thing is gonna happen to your party.
I can't believe
Yeah, I
nobody's
figured-
named.
No,
No,
no. Yeah. Go
No
ahead.
one's
I
name.
can't believe nobody's named Full Gopin as their favorite NPC.
As I said, I can't pick all of them.
Yeah.
For
I just-
Govin's another one I love though.
The thing is,
But yeah.
I think with Fulgomin at this point, I know too many people's opinions on him. I have
See,
enough of a history with him. It's like
see
I mean,
the issue is one time one of my home game players straight up went like, Volgomin is just Stan watching the campaign, and we can't have that.
I mean
And
AP and I
yeah,
still sometimes will just randomly talk about Fulgomin.
of course.
And
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, no. There's that one NPC who will come up later, and I'm pretty sure you guys will adopt him very quickly as well. Then there's a couple of top NPCs that Steve will recruit purely out of thirst.
because Steve is the bottom. So
Exactly.
Hey,
No, like,
hey, no.
hey, hi,
What?
hi.
hi.
I am a lot of things, but I'm not a bottom. I'm a switch at best. Okay, so
Well, in
On the
that
bad
case,
days.
there'll be an NPC that both Assis and Steve are gonna thirst over.
Fair. Okay.
Here we go.
It's
You know,
when we
sometimes
get to that section, the jar will get 50 added on that session. I know
I,
this.
I will say I think the whole jar thing, you all do benefit from the fact that my character is not thirsty at all and is just
Yeah.
not fucking interested.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise
One
it
of
would
the
be worse.
NPCs will also cause us to get another rice scam, which will be nice. So yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited for chapter 2. Anyway, next question. I'll keep reminiscing otherwise. Question for Assis, which
Oh
I can
shit.
help you answer. But did you come up with your patron? Was it a joint idea, or did you take Tan's idea and run with it?
I mean, it was your subclass, and yeah, I was. Tan gave us a list of like when we did the honor. Tan gave us a list of like his homebrew subclasses. So when we were doing Dark Waters, I was like, "Fuck it, Forgotten Madness sounds great. Let's go with that." And once I had chosen that, Tan told me, "Oh, your patron is full Govind." And I mean, I had a strong reaction, but like, so again, I had played a one shot with Tan before where our team had been wiped by Full Gopin because we attempted to fight Full Gopin. Um, so I had a very strong
It
reaction,
was a
but I was like,
Halloween game.
yeah, I was like, fuck yes, like, yeah.
Yeah. Like she just came to me with like, I want to play this subclass. I'm like, yes, one of you picked it, but also me realizing chapter 1 pyramid will happen. Oh no. Cool. That's when I said oh no, by the way, when you picked your class.
Yeah. Fair.
But yeah, no. Forgotten Madness is basically a homebrew class of pure entropy and chaos. It's like a wild magic sorcerer, but it's a warlock with body horror and
Yeah.
transfiguration.
I think as someone who's not a very horror type and a body horror type, I think I picked it only because I wanted to explore and play with that, and I think it's been very successful with that. Uh, not been enough rolls on the table yet, but that's increasing because every level I get, every new feature I get, just increases the likelihood of rolling on that table. So
Dude. I mean, that's the whole point. Like, your magic
yeah,
is getting more unstable as you're delving into the arcane.
That's cool though.
Oh
But yeah.
lordy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like how I just looked up like, Dan, why did you do the voice?
No,
No,
I was looking
couldn't.
down because
Yeah.
I had accidentally almost broke something, and I was like,
Oh
whoops.
no.
In hindsight, like I couldn't be happier with my choice of subclass because I think Full Govind is a delight to get to have around. And
I
delight.
like it. As a player, I like it, and I think Ivana is
Yeah.
actually non-judgmental. I think they're a little spooked, but not like, not has the same kind of reaction as the other ones, but I enjoy it.
I think like as the full Goblin pack player, I feel like the challenges it gives me with like actually like dealing with that and how that plays in with the party and with her
Reminds me
actions
a
and
lot of
intentions. I love it.
Muriel
Well,
when I
I
played
think-
in the Onrush, of like how
Yeah.
Muriel was the
Yeah.
patron.
With the
I'm also
archfey.
scared of meeting you here.
yeah.
Not gonna
Well, I
lie.
think
I don't know what the fuck happened.
Fulgobin has agreed with a couple of things Jasper said, so he's fine by me.
yeah, that's true.
Agreement is the lowest.
I mean,
form
I
yet.
think maybe
you-
after getting more information about Ivana's patron, Fulgoin might not be the most hated patron anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
Look,
Yeah.
UBC is not about it.
you know,
Girl is a Problem by Natasha Kills plays in Yabisi's head every single time Gobin
I know,
opens his mouth.
yeah.
Girl is a problem. Like, you need to go.
Oh.
and that is out of a deep and abiding like care for estrogen. Nothing was, I thought, more heartbreaking as a player when Aziz when you confronted for Gobin and you were like, why are you doing things that hurt my friends? That touched my heart, and I think, like, as a player, I think that's amazing RP. And it's moments like that is the reason why Yabisi's like, estrogen deserves better.
She
Yeah.
does. She does. She's probably not gonna get better, but she does. I mean, we have talked about like there are like maybe a potential way or two to change things around with that, but I don't think, I don't know. I mean, I could also still, there is still a chance that I give Estrin over to Fulgovan, switch to a different character. It's not as likely now because I think those couple episodes of RP did actually get me to that point that I was not being able to get over to continue with the character. Like not out of like a like not that I wasn't enjoying it, just that I could not for the life of me see why the character would choose anything else at that point. And then we
Yeah.
found that. So
I think I also like the conversation between Estrogen and Ivana, where Estrogen was kind of saying that for a long time that she didn't really like was alive. And I think that was also kind of where both for me and Ivana things clicked. Like, okay, it actually makes sense that if you didn't are offered something like that. So I think that's something that Ivana also like does keep in mind. Like, this is, as many opinions we might have about Fukuman, this is still someone that helped her. And that's the reason that she's with us right now. And like Ivana said, I'm glad you exist. Like, they are very happy that you are with them. So I think that's something that they do take in account. Like, it's not all bad in that sense.
yeah, I mean, the thing is like, okay, while I'm not going to attempt to compare getting an eldest patron who shows you the world and just changes you from the sad Eladrin season 2 transitioning, there is some, I feel like I do play into some of like a trans story there
Yeah.
in some very some tangential ways.
No,
Um,
I definitely got that vibe. Yeah, or at least I understood that. Yeah, and I think that's pretty. I like it when people put stuff like that in there.
For sure. I thought I muted my phone. Oh no, it's fine. Okay, next question is for Hector.
Oh, okay.
What was the biggest inspiration behind Yabisi and his backstory?
So I created UBC a long time ago. I've played UBC a couple iterations of UBC in a couple different games. The biggest inspiration definitely is Taino culture. Puerto Rico in particular. Yabisi is actually an old indigenous word that means spider, a particular species of spider that lives in a dunque in the jungles of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. So sort of this, but also it's like, I used to joke about how like Ireland and Puerto Rico are like siblings, two island nations, oppressed by colonial powers, associated with greed and burdens, conquered peoples, with rich spiritual traditions, animistic traditions. And I know animism is usually associated with like cultures in the global south, brown people, but there is something incredibly animistic about Celtic mythology. This idea of like fairies and like demigods and multiple beings that are also a part of the land. So I kind of, and I also have like I think like the biggest inspiration would probably be Irish and indigenous Puerto Rican mythology and the kind of cultures that come from island life, and kind of taking all these things that I like from Celtic lore, from fairies and elves, and then mashing that up with my upbringing. being from Puerto Rico, and those are the two like kind of fused together. That's the biggest inspiration for UDC.
But it also like kind of shows like in the way he dresses, the way he kind of addresses certain issues and people and stuff like that. Like definitely comes up, and I think like even especially because a lot of like sea travel is happening right now, and then we're also going from like port town to port town. You're like running into other marine life kind of folks and all. It does come up there a lot, and like yes, whenever the island stuff in particular comes into play, then that's where like UVC will have to actually kind of face that kind of culture and environment again, but like in a very darker timeline, things have gotten fucked up way. So that'll be very
Yeah.
interesting to see. Yeah. Next one's from Mike. Mike is AFK. I will circle back to that question once he's back. This is for the
He's
table.
back.
Oh, he's back.
Or at least he turns his camera back on.
Yeah, no, that counts. That counts.
That counts. That counts.
Question for Jasper. Was Jasper's backstory your idea? Have Tan's ideas influenced the backstory or Jasper's personality in any way?
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so I mean, I'd say probably 90% my idea, which I kind of threw over to Tan, and he threw some suggestions in there with names and places and kind of ways to work it into the character that I wanted to bring to life. I'm quite different to kind of Hector and Anna's approach to the game. Like I tend not to revisit characters I've played before, so I always try to kind of bring a new character to a new game. So kind of I came into this with like no pre-planned character, and I just had an idea and spitballed it with Tan and rolled with it. Because I have hundreds of characters on D&D Beyond that I have never played and will never play, just because I kind of make 6 or 7 ideas for a campaign and then go, that's the one I want to play. But yeah, so Tan kind of provided a way of fitting Jasper into his world, but the idea was mine.
For sure. Yeah, like Jasper had a lot of those like things where you kind of had like a set thing in mind, and you were just like, is there someone like this I could be working from? Like, oh yeah, Mr. Zazlamel, like stuff like that. I just like filled in like the proper noun gaps essentially, and like the rest was very Jasper. I think it did shift a lot when it came into contact with the world and like Raven Queen happened and all, but yeah.
Very much. But even to the point where I wrote like kind of the synopsis of 3 stories that Jasper had written. And Tan was kind of like, okay, cool. Like these aren't like canon events in the world, but actually this could go to the bits that I haven't told Tom as well. It's like, so the Ebrikard Chronicles that Jasper wrote were stories that were told to him by a man he met, like just wandering on his travels, that they shared a campfire with, and Jasper kind of expanded on them and researched into little bits and pieces of them. And then the man disappeared, and Jasper never got his name as well. So whether he is a character who will come back at some point, I look forward to finding out.
That is.
I bet you do. Because I sat and read those stories, and I was like, who could know these things?
I love that.
But yeah, for sure. Next is for the table. What was your favorite moment to RP, or simply a great moment during the stream storytelling wise?
I think for me, I'd have to go back to the same answer, and I think some of the scenes between Devana and Jasper were really. I think there were just depending on the situation, but I think all of them come from a thing where it's like we're in a lot of shit together, but they always end up really gentle, I find. Where it's like, even for example, when at this Spell Forge where Jasper was really down, and like Devana came to sit next to him and trying to talk some courage back into him, whereas before that, obviously, Jasper has helped Ivana a lot with dealing with stuff, and then there is Ivana reading the poem, and then going from the chaos that is like, oh, I'm going to befriend Dagon, and I think a lot of those as scenes talking about scenes where I'm in. I think those I always I really enjoy, as well as the one to point out with Nedra that was really nice. I think from an outside perspective, I don't know. I think it was Mike or whoever earlier you said that there's so much great role play at the table. It's a really hard moment to pick. But I also did really like the one with Sapphire and his dad. I really enjoyed that one as well. And yeah, I think just or like the one Hector mentioned well with estrogen sort of being in Falcoban, like why are you hurting my friends? And I think I really enjoy scenes where as weird as it sounds, there's like sort of breaking points where characters realize something or starting to ask questions they might not have asked before. I think I really enjoy those kind of moments a lot.
Same, honestly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I've enjoyed so much. Like all the scenes with Anna are great. I loved 2 scenes that I've done with Hector. The one with Jasper about being asexual.
Yes, absolutely.
And also when Ubisi was kind of feeling down as well, and kind of Jasper saying, actually, no, you're fucking sanctimonious, and we need that. It's like, and I mean, what I do want to say is like testament to all of you, and like props to all of you, because I know there are streams out there that like plan their little RP segments like in advance and stuff like that. Like you guys, like we throw shit at each other. Like we don't plan out these like intimate moments.
Actually, crazy.
I had intended. No, I knew the UBC chat with Jasper was going to come at some point, and I had meant to give Hector a heads up. But like, it just like the fact that I knew that when it happened, like Hector was going to be so cool with how it was going, is testament to you guys. Like we literally, you guys are the kings of fucking improv. And I cannot say that.
I think it also comes with a sense of trust that we have in each other. We know that like if I were to go like Rice or like grab you for a scene, I know that like you'll be okay. You'll be like going along with whatever I'm gonna say, and the other way around as well. I think we could kind of have that fine-tuned sense of like, yeah, these people are great at roleplay. I can just throw whatever I want at them, and they'll come along for the ride.
I mean, like even the Warlock talk scene, like that was like okay, I knew that that Anna and I were gonna do a Warlock talk, but it kind of just happens.
I mean, yeah, it didn't really go to where I intended it, and I think, I
think it just happened.
Yeah.
I think even just by the end of Onrush, we had so much table chemistry at that point that going into Dark Waters, it's just gotten better and better, and it's just so natural to be able to do those things with you guys.
We were trauma bonded.
Yeah. My answer.
Sorry,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's really cool though. Like, I know like some of us had played together before, but none of us had played together before. Like I hadn't played with any of you before the Onrush, right? And so like for me, it was a very big thing to see. Like it was my first proper experience after Tales of Fate with people who I had not played, but like also people who are like established TTRPG players, because when we played Tales of Fate, none of us had done it before. None of us had done an AP before. So that was like a very different experience compared to this, where I like all of you knew what you were doing, and all of us like to gel together that quickly was really cool. At least for me, like seeing by the end of episode 2 of Onrush, I was like, I feel like I've known these people forever, So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think like in stream, my answer mirrors Mike's. The various scenes between Jasper and UBC, where sort of like BC, and to a certain extent Hector, and we talked about the improv thing. I thought I was RPing a romance. But that was Jasper, the character's character. Like there were layers going on there that that I didn't even know. And then it was such and then I want to say that like part of the reason that scene with the ace coming out thing and UBC's response was very much about, people talk about role-playing games, D&D, being like a power fantasy. Well, I wanted to mirror the kind of world where ace people are just accepted for who they are, and it is not taken personally. And I know that maybe we don't necessarily live in that kind of world, but there's no reason why, while we're playing D&D, we can't create that kind of world. And maybe somebody sees that and feels seen and feels cared for, because that is the kind of person I want to be, and that is the kind of person BC is.
Definitely, I think I said in the video chat after seeing that was something. I mean, I phrased that as healed something, but it was very nice as an asexual person to have someone be like, "Oh, that's okay." Like, and I think I don't remember what UBC exactly said, but very much like affirming, like that's okay, and you are as good as you are. Because there are obviously, unfortunately, a lot of people, like you said, who are don't have that reaction or are very like asking a lot of questions that don't really make sense. So that was also very lovely for me as an asexual person to see that sort of scene play out. So yeah, that was pretty nice.
Like I was not always this audio person. I've been at various places on the spectrum. I've had a conversation similar to that did not go that same way. So, and I know a lot of ace friends who have also like, so
Yep.
it was like just on a personal level, just so good to like see.
Yeah, it was really lovely. Oh, Rice.
Rice.
Me. I barely know the question, honestly, because I went to the restroom. So
The question is, what was your favorite moment to RP, or simply a great moment during the stream, storytelling wise?
oh man, Sprout isn't really approached much, but that's the way that Sprout's character is. There's sort of this like, they're in the background. They're there for the emotional support and sort of lifting the others. Like, they're not. They may have deep thoughts, but it has not resurfaced yet. They're still Sprout for now. They do have thoughts which they didn't get to voice yet, but so I didn't have many moments in which
I will say I
but
have
feel like
3 top Sprout moments already.
I mean,
But
Sprout hasn't had a voice for long, so I think like, I'm looking
yeah,
forward to
Sprout
getting
hasn't had a
his
voice for
interaction.
long. Sprout has been hard to communicate with for a long while, and they're still sort of figuring out how this body works, and they I mean, it's sort of known, at least some people from the party know, even if Sprout hasn't really voiced it out, that um Sprout at some point, they had a person that they were following around, and that person left, and they just sat in that spot for hundreds of years waiting for that person to come back. They don't know how the world works. It was that one spot for a very long time. They started exploring recently. So they're still getting accustomed to this whole thing of like properly speaking to people and how it works. But I love doing Sprout moments of being like, but what's politics? How does money work?
I as when in Dirty Onrush, I enjoyed the same as Cry. It's so wonderful to like have something be like, what's that? I would love for Sprout to be able to travel back in time and meet like Cry before the Onrush. I think that would be the best friends.
They would, yeah.
I think it's a really
What's
cute
a
thing.
bow?
But yeah, I love doing
like a
Sprout
leaf.
things of being like,
On the
what's a
Sprout
boat?
has leaves.
Why do people have to choose in politics who rules?
Yeah.
How do I use money? Oh, my friend upset you? I'm sorry. Here's a bouquet of flowers. Why are you crying? Are you allergic? I can get new ones.
I will say, of my like top Sprout moments, Sprout talking to Avelo is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that
best.
was lovely.
Another one is Ground Zero Apocalypse has begun again. Sprout running into the Stampede to find Jasper and
That
somehow
was,
making
yeah.
their way
I
through.
was like, fuck,
Yeah.
Sprout is dead.
And
Yeah.
making their way through, starting to wilt and wither, and
Yeah.
has to just make the call like, oh, okay, Mr. Bird Person, I guess you will help my friend.
Yeah.
I have to go talk to this voice in the astral sea. And then that conversation in itself was such a cool moment. Because that's the first
It's
time
a
Sprout
really
got
good
to
moment.
talk.
I was going to say that is one of my favorite moments. It's like one of the first moments that Sprout has got a proper voice where they got to finally voice their thoughts a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Like because usually Sprout didn't speak. It's like they didn't have a mouth before then. So they were kind of like, yeah, but the friends are worried and I know how it is to wait on a person for a while to come
Yeah.
back. And I can't just let that happen to another person. And that's where this thing of like I didn't get to touch up upon this a lot, but that's where this thing started, where Sprout is beginning to realize that people are a lot more fragile than they thought. Being a Leshy, they're a plant, you know? You put a seed in and they regrow. It's like they're used to fruits being like, okay, I plant the seed in and there's another tree coming. With people, they get one chance, and it's dawning on Sprout really badly that the friends they've made right here are
Also the
fragile and it scares
I
them.
think it's
also the
also funny 'cause-
revelation for Sprout, right? That they found out like they
Yeah.
weren't following someone, they were chasing someone.
Yeah,
Like-
that's
Yeah,
I
they were
thought that was
saying-
very interesting.
Yeah, but I'm curious about what's more in there because even I don't know this.
I mean, I also want to know.
I
It's a
gave
lot of fun
my
liberties.
story to
Yeah.
Tan. I gave like a short story to Tan of like they had a master like that they were learning from, but Sprout thought that's how it worked. It wasn't, and now I'm like, I do feel a little bit like Sprout when I'm learning more about this.
I think also
Your backstory may be a lie.
yeah.
Yeah, like the backstory was a lie.
When Ten was like, oh, did it? When I think Ten said like, oh, he looks afraid. I was like, oh no. I was that was
Yeah,
really that's really cool.
my first
Yeah.
thought was like, oh no, what did Sprout do? Or okay, I could have said another thing, bro. Like that's a little bit spoilery.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, any roleplay moment where it's a PC with Tan and it's related to the backstory always hits so hard.
Yeah.
Especially
and-
if you
oh,
leave it to me.
Yeah, but I also I
honest-
guess to that, as I said as well, the first time the Vanas saw the Bria at the temple, I was also like, fuck.
I was gonna say that, yeah. That
Yeah.
moment is like,
But yeah, that's
Also,
why I'm
Steve,
waiting on being. Yeah, I was. That's why I'm waiting on like Sprout to finally voice more thoughts and speak more
Yeah.
with people and try to understand them. And I also think I also wanted to do this like next session. To talk with Hazelnut and voice to Hazelnut like a little bit like a therapist, just sit there in the astral plane being like, people
I
are
can see
fragile.
that. I mean, I think that shows him though how Sprout uses cleric abilities, because I think I've seen Sprout use a lot of attacks in combat rather than healing, which is gonna be fun because
Yeah.
now the cleric like
Because
good
that's
luck.
the thing,
so-
Sprout only healed people when they were like actually visibly bloodied up,
Yeah,
or like they were
exactly.
down already.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It was very
Yeah.
rare for Sprout to be like, "Oh, you have a scratch. Let me fix that." You know.
I mean,
like,
yeah, but also I guess during combat, usually Divana or like the paladins were doing that. So now, but
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
see,
But
we're down to
again,
cleric. So
Sprout
like,
Sprout isn't realizing how fragile people are. That's the thing. They don't get it. They see when they see the blood, they're like, "Oh, that's
which is
not
why
what
it's
people
funny
do."
that he's a life cleric.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I can't wait for you to talk to your god eventually. I
Oh,
mean, the one you've
no.
been praying to, not the one you are connected to, or whatever the fuck
Oh,
that
no.
is.
Oh, no.
But also, yeah, Steve, you didn't answer, by the way. RP moments.
Oh yeah. So for Sapphire, I think as Sapphire, not the initial, but the second conversation with their dad. The first one was right when they did that Nat 20 guiding bolt, right? Not that one. But after that, I think that night, or once we got to the manor when things were settled down, that conversation broke me, like IRL.
Yeah.
Like I was like full on like tears after it, because it hit, like it was so close to like an actual conversation I've had with my dad. So like it was like, bro, what am I doing? You know, kind of thing. And easily like my favorite moment from the first arc. And I think leading into that also, the whole I'm not a hero thing with Estrogen, not the one with the
I'm not
party,
a
but,
hero
like,
is so good.
Yeah.
I think that's his running theme for all of my characters. Even Soren has done the whole I'm not a hero stick couple of times.
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things that I really enjoy doing. But I think overall, as like if I had to pick one moment from the entire campaign to show as like our highlight, as part of our highlight reel, I would pick the Jasper EBC moment where Jasper comes out, because like everyone has talked about, right? It's
Yeah,
I feel like
just
it's
a
very
standout, like just
Yeah.
oh my god.
I think it's very important, especially with like how very important how fucked the world is today, that like we should be able to.
I would like to give context as to why Steve is laughing. Nano in chat just said about that not a hero thing, that fucker just doesn't want responsibilities.
It's also
Oh!
and also Callum said that I did the same thing in a superhero game. So
It's a Steve thing. Yes.
yeah, I was playing Masks and I'm like, I'm not a hero. Fuck this shit.
Bro, what are you talking about? We're all heroes.
What are you talking about? We're not
Ah.
You're in a costume.
No, but that's the thing, right? I have superpowers. I'm not a superhero. There's a big
My
difference.
mask character was like that as well. So
My mask actor was the doomed and was dying very quickly.
love it. Speaking of chat, we have 2 questions in chat
Yes.
from Nano.
Let
Yeah.
me see. What was the inspiration for your names?
At everyone.
So I was named at birth.
A rare occurrence.
I have 2 names.
I have 2 names, and one of them has been in my family for 3 generations now. I'm going to break that cycle.
Okay, guys, character names. Come on.
Character name.
I think
Uh,
for me it wasn't really an inspiration. It's I like to, whenever I play fantasy games, I like to create names, or the way I do it also when I'm writing, because sometimes as a TTRPG writer I have to make a lot of NPCs and I have to come up with a lot of names.
Yeah.
And I usually just try and I start with like just typing letters, and then sort of sometimes it's a literal keyboard smash, and I remove the letters that don't make sense, because if there's too many like vowels or whatever together, and then I put in other letters. And this was kind of the same process where I was like, okay, I like the idea of having a name to start with a D. I don't know why. Sometimes just get a letter vibe for a certain character, and then I just thought, okay, usually you have a letter and start you get a vowel, and I just started fucking around with it until I was like, okay, that could be an actual name. It might be an actual name. It sounds like it could be an actual name. But then I had with it, I was like, I'm gonna put it both in the first and last name. I'm gonna put like a semi-silent H in there just for fuckery. The same with Debria's name, because technically you pronounce it. It's just if you say it really fast, it gets lost. So that was a kind of, I don't know even why I did that. I thought it was funny to have silent H in there. But yeah, no inspiration, just fucking around with it until it sounded like a name.
Yeah, fair.
Mine, I think, is the easiest one. Plant, sprout. It's friendly, mellow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of like how one of my PCs in a different campaign is, where I'm for once a PC, and I'm literally playing a person made out of obsidian. I named them Vitrum.
For once a PC. I've played with you as a PC so many times.
That's the same campaign.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, UBC is a China word. I really, really wanted it to be an indigenous name of some kind to make it different. And it's a type of spider. And, kind of jungly.
We should give
flexible,
UBC Spider
hobbit
Climb
creative
somehow.
tree.
I think just to fit
mean,
the name.
Yeah.
That's
I took
very
the
easy to
staff.
do.
I took the
Yeah.
stuff. I can
Well,
just give
it's
it
one
to
of the
UBC.
reasons- Yeah, it was one of the reasons why, that's the double, reason why I like having high athletics. It's not just for the strength factor, it's also for climbing, because D&D is weird. So like I like the idea that your BC, like a spider, can like crawl up trees and branches and whatnot. And it sounds cool. That's the thing. Like I'll go on the internet and I'll look up like, and I and there was like a whole list of really cool tiny no names. Like pick a town in Puerto Rico. They're all indigenous names. They might sound Spanish, they're not Spanish. And I just I picked one that sounded really cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Specifically, also to Steve, why did you call a silver dragon sapphire? Do you know how much bookkeeping I have to do because of that? Because sapphire dragons are a thing.
Okay, so here's the funny story, right? I always like to have my characters have S names. That's the crux of all of that, right?
Right.
Every character I have played ever since I started playing TTRPGs have had an S name, unless it was a pre-gen character that already had a name. So it's like one of those things that I keep constant throughout, right? That's the backstory. But like when I was building Sapphire initially, there was I was trying to figure out S, how do I put S in, and also trying to figure out like some Indianness, because I like to implement that also, which I didn't do this time actually for Sapphire, because all of my characters also have like the first to last name is Indian. So, and then it just was like S, Sapphire makes sense, whatever. It wasn't until like episode 11 or 12 where someone else pointed out in chat saying, so is Sapphire a sapphire dragon? And I was like, wait, oh no, what have I done?
When you gave the name, remember
was-
my reaction?
yeah.
I was like, so what kind of dragon are you? Was my next question to your name. And you're like, oh, silver. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, I think it was Callum who pointed it out, and I was like, oh, shit,
Yeah,
okay, I
yeah.
fucked up now. No, but also Soren is very different because Soren was the first one I made, and I didn't really know, I didn't really think what's the word? Have representation in mind
Think
when
is
I
the
first
word.
started, when I started doing that initially. The whole idea of like bringing together the whole community, trying to increase representation, was after I joined the space and I saw how little representation existed, where I was like, okay, I need to change that, right? So when I first joined, when we first started playing Tales of Fate, all seven of us were Indian, right? So there was like, it is the most diverse actual play I've ever been in. So if you think about it, so, yeah.
And why Stonewall?
Just I needed an S name. There is no reasoning for it. It just, that's literally it.
Silverheart was right there.
So
yeah.
I mean, my process is normally pretty constant. There's the odd one where I go slightly differently, like in Misadventures League, in the short-lived D&D campaign that we did. I was playing. He was a Goliath. I think he was a Goliath. I wanted something like rock based for kind of like that, so I just called him Geo, but because like I thought geological geology, that kind of thing. So sometimes I go down something that kind of relates to the character idea I got, but the normal way I do it, which is how I did it with Jasper, is during lockdown I did a 100 Days of Writing Challenge by Tim Clare podcast. Thoroughly recommend it for anybody who does TTRPGs, because one of the challenges was, they're all 10-minute challenges, and one of them was write as many fictional names in 10 minutes as you can. So literally every time I'm about to play a game, I just 10 minutes just write name, and then I just scan over them, read over them afterwards, and pick the one that I like for that character. And then I've generally got about 30 NPC names for games that I'm playing and stuff as well. So
Yeah, I have a similar list on my
Yeah,
phone with names that I came across or that I liked or that I invented and didn't use. So like for NPCs, it's useful because if someone's like, "Oh, I talked to an NPC, I didn't make 1 second. Let me pull up my list and pick a name." It's very useful. Or like even for one-shot characters as well.
Yeah.
It's
I
so much
have
more
a-
chaotic than that, because I literally just make a sound with my mouth and I'm like, what's the closest name to the sound I just made? And I just use that as the random NPC name.
That's what I do with my
I-
keyboard. I do the
So
same.
I have a very also like constant process for most of like my PCs. I like usually like I just go on fancy name generator. I pick out names either of like the species or like the real world background the person is from or stuff like that. And then I try to make the name a pun. It is
Question.
very rare. Wait. It's very rare that I play a character whose name is not a pun. So estrogen, very simple. Estrogen, the drug, because testosterone, hormones, great. It's trans, it's great. Make it spell all weird because it's funnier that way and more elaborate. And also, when I play with Tan, I want to make sure that the name is going to, first time he hears it, make him groan as loud as possible.
Yeah.
Are your questions?
My question was sparkling water.
Yes.
Yes.
What about it?
Yeah, I was also curious about where that came from.
What about it? What's your question?
Curious.
Nope. You're done.
Yeah, I
Here's the thing. Sparkling water, I was looking at I was trying to find ways that like people give like Tabashi names. The first character I ever played in D&D was a Tabashi, and I gave her a what?
Tabaxi.
Tabashi.
Tabaxi.
Tabashi. No?
Oh, wait, hold on. You're both correct. Because depending on what language group you're dealing with, X's is pronounced S.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway,
Like, Tabaxi is the
I read
American
somewhere that it
English
was Tabashi.
pronunciation.
Anyway,
I could be wrong.
the point is, I thought, I figured that like the whole idea of like cat like clan names and stuff, and like the warrior cats kind of thing. So I did kind of go for a warrior cats esque thing, and went with clan names, and then I just thought, uh, it's
I thought you were
sparkling
doing an
water.
Elder Scrolls.
No, so sparkling water sounds like it's very like it like it follows that formula that I'd found somewhere of like okay like the cat name, so like descriptor noun.
Yeah.
It also just means fucking sparkling water or drink. So I thought it was the funniest fucking thing when I made it.
I had that with cry because the word cry with double A instead it just means crow in Dutch. I was like, I'm just gonna name
Yeah.
this motherfucker crow, and no one
Uh,
will. Yeah. And the spelling
Everyone
difference.
with fun
said no one will know, you
puns
told
and
me
shit,
on
and
day
then I
one.
went for like
Yeah.
Muriel.
Yeah. I will say like
Yeah.
one of the IRL campaigns I'm in right now, like it's multiverse kind of whatever. I am playing a character from My Hero Academia, and once I landed on My Hero Academia as my universe, I was so happy because every hero in that thing, their real name is a pun. The real names are puns for every character. There's a character called Tetsu, which is just steel written in 4 different ways, I think, or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
so I
It
was
is.
so happy that I got like low reason to have a pun name.
And
I will say I had
yeah.
some fundamental. I'm so glad that we're having a conversation about names because I had a fundamental misunderstanding as a silly Westerner about both sparkling water and sapphire Stonewall, and it goes back to a little bit playing too much Exalted and the noun descriptor. And in Exalted, they talk about how names in Exalted should be like a name translated from a different language into English. And I completely misunderstood, and I had forgotten about the Tabaxi thing.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. To give you like a little chart. But I thought that's the reason why I accidentally called Sapphire Sparkling one episode. If you watch some of the episodes,
Yeah, I remember this
accidentally
early
called-
on. Yeah.
So what it was I thought that you and Tan had come up with cool Indian names and then translated those names into English so that the English-speaking audience could better understand.
A, that's giving
your
us so much
names.
credit, and B, I
Yeah.
would never do that. I'm not catering to the white folks.
No, I mean, like, of course not. Of course, and this just
Yeah.
goes to show you, like, how
Yeah.
ignorant,
There's a
like,
clap right
I
there.
was, like, and how much sometimes you just gotta ask. And, I got kind of
I enjoy doing the opposite, like of a cry, where I love and I do this sometimes in my writing. I love taking Dutch just words and make them names, because there will be someone out there who knows exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can never
so
do that
Steve,
in
I
Romanian.
thought you
Our
were
words
doing
suck.
an Indian thing with with Sapphire. That was
Is
just
there
so
an
wrong.
Indian?
Hindi.
No, I was
Does
just
Hindi
thinking
have a word
like
for sapphire?
Hira is diamond.
Hira is diamond. But
Oh, I
I'm
love
sure
this.
there is. I'm sure. Hold on.
I
I'm
know this
sure there
feeling
is.
so well.
Hold on.
I love when you
He's
forget your own
Googling it.
name.
Neelam. It's a Neelam.
Ew.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why we don't say it. So
Ew.
Neela literally means blue. So there's just blue gem in Neelam.
Oh,
I
okay.
hate it.
No wonder we don't use it. Anyway, next question. Again,
But also, it's kind of funny to think that Sapphire's name, if this were in Hindi, would just be Neelam. Like such a basic ass bitch name.
it is a basic ass pitch name. You're right. But also,
Another question in chat, I think, right?
oh wait, there was
From
another.
Oh, shit,
earlier.
what?
It was the same one from.
Oh wait, let me scroll up.
Another one.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yeah, Nano had
from
another one
Nano.
for Tan.
Every DM preps and every DM dreads a choice not expected. Which was a moment where a PC proper surprised you? Well, this one's very easy.
Me up, baby girl.
Well, no, that was
No.
less of a surprise, sadly. It's when Jasper was
Oh,
at the
yeah,
manor
yeah.
and he just ran out the door on the first turn of combat. No one is losing. The situation is not dire. We're fine right now. We're chilling. Dan, I would like to pull 3 cards.
Three
From that
cards.
deck
We
of
were like-
many things. This was a homebrew deck of many things to be more extreme than a general one. Man pulls
We were
3
like level 3 facing an army of abyssal creatures.
There were
No,
like
I saw the
15 of you
logic.
in a house, and it was round 1. I will say it surprised me because I figured you'd do that when it's like pushed to the brink. You opened combat with it, is why I was like, wait, what the fuck?
He made the brain come to us.
Like,
Literally.
and
Yeah.
then the cards pulling a teleportation plane shift, pulling a summon greater fiend, and what was it? The invulnerability one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, resistance, yeah.
Oh god. And like I was just like,
Yeah.
At that moment, I didn't have notes prepped for what the fuck is gonna happen. So I rolled a D10, and depending on the D10, I was gonna pick which layer of hell this thing was coming from. And I rolled a thing came up. I'm like, well, that actually would be very funny if that happened. Cool. And lo and behold, and essentially, that happened. And then I had to pick where you're going with your plane shift, and you rolled for like the abyss. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll a 50-50. One roll, you end up in an encounter you're supposed to have at level 8. Another one, you end up at the gate. And you roll for the gate and you met Runt. The other one would have
I
made
love
you also
rolls.
come back, but you would have had to make some deal to come back then.
Love when roles make this stuff happen.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what you do. Like when someone does something like that, you know the world, you know how the world is going to respond as a DM. You roll to see, so you take agency away from yourself there because you know what is good, what is bad, and you dictating that point of the narrative will only make it like shallower. So you roll at that point, you see where the narrative takes you, and then you as the DM are like, okay, I'm sending you to this part of the world. I know what the world will do to you there. And that's how I dealt with it, at least.
I love the phrase, I know what the world will do to you, because that's a very trendy thing, I think. Very dark way of saying.
So trendy.
And
I will say,
yeah.
I don't know if it's because I read a lot of Jack Reacher, like Lee Child books, but yeah, Jasper is very much a get your retaliation in first type character. So that's why he
I
drew
love
the
it.
Fair
tab.
enough.
I love it.
But yeah, no, that's how I went about it. And yeah, next question for the table.
Dan, we should probably take a break first.
Oh, you want to take a break, guys? People
Is
tired?
still big.
Unless, I mean, how many questions are left?
We
Yeah, it
have
depends.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions left.
Yeah, maybe let's take
Yeah, I think we should
give
take
us like a
we should take
5 or 10 minute
Let's
break
take a
or
5-10, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We have a couple more questions left. If anyone else gets more questions during that, like write them down in chat. I'll keep an eye on it. We're going to be back in about 5 or 10 after a little quick break.
Steve takes us out.
Steve?
Steven.
Help! We're trapped, Steve!
Steve.
I'm just gonna.
It says we're on air, but yeah, we're back.
Because Steve lies to us every time.
No, it takes 5 seconds for it to show up.
I know. All right, folks, we are back with the tail end of our Arc 1 Q&A Dark Waters thing that we're doing.
So fun.
During the break, I was asked one question in chat by Nano, which was, do I fudge my rolls to reduce the damage and whatnot? And yes, the answer is very much yes. That needs to be done, or these people would have died in session 3. Because I crit way
Wow.
too much for some reason. No, not your fault. Dude, I crit a lot, like a stupid amount. And I'm like, if I say this, they will just keep getting angrier. I need to fudge a few of them. And yes.
It's so funny that it's that intense, even with fudging.
All right. Next for the table. Future plans for your characters, something you specifically wish to do, maybe a class you're interested in.
I would love to get my cleric class back somewhere. It doesn't have to be the same domain, just something. But I also know obviously Tolkien that's very difficult to do considering.
No, but I did tell you.
You'd say there's one.
There is one deity. You won't have much difficulty. It'll just take time. Eventually, on the same route you're on, you will get there.
Yeah, I am really. And I think he also said that's something that I would really like, and probably Divana as well. So I'm really curious as to who that is. But yeah, that's one. And as far as other stuff goes, I know this is like more of an endgame thing, I guess. But I would love it if Divana manages at least to get the Bria out of Gold. I'm not too sure about their father because obviously I only just saw like what we all saw, but I don't know how far. Like if that's salvageable at all. But also I guess, they've not seen him since they were like 7, 8, 9. So like as much as it's weird to say, like it is sense less urgent because the Bria is the one that's sort of raised them and that they've always been with. So I feel like that's some I would love to see these siblings reunited, but also I understand what kind of game this is. And I don't know if I'll get that far, but
We'll see.
Yeah, and I think also something that I mentioned to Tam before is that also with the sort of shifting almost confidence and like willpower is them becoming I mentioned another character of mine called Summer. And that's very much a character who is also very like mom friend, very protective. But will also absolutely yell at someone if they, like kind of like they said no pickles kind of vibe. And I love to like maybe for Divana to get some more confidence, maybe not exactly that, but to be kind of more assertive and be more this is a little bit more confident in but without losing that kindness and such that they have.
It's pretty easy. What the fuck happened back then?
Yeah.
That's
Just
it.
figuring that out, yeah. Fair enough.
And also
Jasper-
more Sprout talking.
Yeah, more Sprout talking, definitely for all of us. Jasper, class-wise, I've not been able to do it yet because obviously paths have taken courses we didn't expect. But I'd like Jasper to dip into Swashbuckler Rogue, just to kind of reinforce the kind of pirate links.
The piratey
that he
angle,
had.
yeah.
But as for goals, I mean, I've said it about 12 times already on this stream. Like, Jasper is going to gut Yathandril. It is the last thing he does.
I love that.
Dad
That's
has
funny.
gotten mad.
So, class-wise for UBC, I kind of have my 2 Dreamcast classes already. which is Bard and Paladin. The only other thing that I was really curious about that I changed my mind about last minute was Warlock, because I think that the Pact of the Depths was very oceany, and I feel like fits UBC, but at the same time, like that's the other one I'd like to try, is that one, and it's got a really cool like water tentacle that you can summon that does like attacks and things, but I would want to reflavor that, obviously, as like a wave or something a little bit more organic. You know how UBC is. He's not much of he's an ocean person. He's not an octopi person, if that makes kind of sense. We'll leave the tentacles to Dagon and Estrogen, okay? Like,
just don't let Kelpie say that you don't like octopi. I mean,
we'll be in trouble. I'll be in so much trouble. I was like, I'm a dolphin. Like, that's more.
Kelpie is just like, ocean is ocean. Sea life is sea life.
Ocean. I mean, and like, I did really like Oath of the Open Sea. It's just, I wanted something that was a little bit more. I took Oath of Ancients because. But Oath of the Open Sea is also another one that I really, really like. And if something happens storyline-wise, if I had to switch oaths, that would be the other one. It's just that I really like Divine Channel Divinity. Yeah. And I just felt like it fit UBC better to be able to banish, like, Fiends and Fae. Because of all of the enemies that we're dealing with. For sure. And Oath of the Open Sea has no banishment with their Channel Divinity at all. You get two cool powers that are really great for strategy, but we are encountering way too many like big
and stuff,
demons and stuff, and I just thought it fit UBC better to be something that is feared both by the Hells and the Feywild, because UBC is a force of nature. I know eventually we're going to run into some Fae that are not our friends, and UBC's not going to have any patience for that.
I already also missed my turn undead for my Channel Divinity. I'm
I
so
feel
sad.
you. I wish I had turn undead, but
yeah. I mean, Sprout should have it at least, I think.
Yeah. And then goals. Goals are obviously UBC's always very obvious about his goals. Closing the portals, finding out what's happening to his family, and protecting the world from another Onrush. And whatever plans. Actually, I think one of UBC's big goals, which he's never going to be able to accomplish on his own, that he has to with his friends. And maybe this is more of a Hector goal. Who is behind this? Who are these people?
Oh, same.
Who is this cult? Who is this? Who?
Me every session.
That's like you'll get a
me?
hint in chapter 3 and end of chapter 2.
I want to crack this plot open like an egg. UBC wants someone to
Thank
blame.
you. You get me.
It can't just be the world is bad. There is some nefarious higher power.
As we have learned in D&D's Campaign Dark Waters, two things can be true at once.
One thing can be two things.
And that's what I got. Those are my goals.
For sure.
So,
anything for Sapphire and Estrogen?
I mean, class-wise, I don't know. I don't really have another class in mind for Estrogen. I know I do show a lot of jealousy for being the only non-multi-class one, though I guess now Divana is a leader. Yeah, Divana's joined me.
You want to do the full Goblin.
That's the thing. Like that also ties into goals I have in mind, right? Like, there is so much more to this class, and like this subclass, like truly, like Tan has put in like his most chaotic self into this subclass, and there's so much I want to explore. I want to roll on the Arcane Search table more. I've gotten powers just now, like last 1 or 2 levels that I haven't like done stuff with yet. Yeah, there's so much that I want to do with this subclass that unless we get to a point in the story where Eston decides to pursue like kind of seizing the Vactrid Goblin, and we see if she gets that done. And even then, I don't know like whether that would mean her not being a warlock or what that would mean. That's all
Yeah.
Tan's business. I mean, you get what I mean.
I know.
Obviously, it's also my business, but like, yeah, like until we actually get to that point, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
So for the foreseeable future, Estrin is warlock. Estrin is gonna keep doing this weird shit. As for goals for her, I kind of really just wanna form like more solid connections with some of the NPCs. I feel like out of all the party, Estrin has that the least.
Mhm.
And I mean, yeah, if you're doubling our size, I am excited for where that goes. Also, yeah, I don't know if I plan to ever have estrogen like try to seek out like any sort of romantic or sexual connections. I think it would be very interesting to see how that plays into who she is and what she is. But we'll see how that
If
happens. Oh,
and
also,
if the character comes along.
yeah. Also, like I don't know. I think finding a reason to change her to an autumn Eladrin or fuck even back to a winter Eladrin for some reason. I would love to see that happen. I'm not gonna try to make it happen. I'm comfortable with summer right now. I do prefer spring. I prefer spring a little bit. Not gonna lie.
There's an NPC which will be your unmaking, then I love it. I'm excited.
Okay.
In a
I love
good
it.
way. Wait,
Yeah.
Sapphire, what about you?
Yeah. So in terms of subclasses, I think Sapphire is good for now. 3 is enough.
Three.
I think 3 should be more
Three
than enough.
classes.
Yeah.
3 classes.
3 classes. Yeah, that's wild. At level 6, at level 5, really. So that's they're good for that. But I think in terms of like future plot, obviously I want to see them be their full like proper dragon self. I would love to see what Sapphire looks like as an actual fucking dragon. But I think that's like not till like level 20, I'm guessing. But so if they survive that long, right, that is the thing. But like I would love to have that be like the overarching goal. And I think maybe I want to explore what being a dragon means to Sapphire. And like I had this dream the other day where Sapphire kind of like got to that point, but they refused to turn into a dragon, like willed themselves to stay dragonborn because they were like, this is who I am
Consider
now.
that as well. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like this is who I am now. And sure, I can do that if I want to or if I need to, but I don't want to anymore. That kind of thing. And because I'm happy being who I am kind of thing. So I think that could be a cool thing to explore if we get there 2 years from now. Maybe if we're actually exploring that, we can use this clip from here as a foreshadowing because I love doing that
yes.
shit. And yeah, but I think that is the thing. And also maybe like just connect with their dad a little bit more, learn more about the time that they missed. I think that is something that as a player and as a character, I would really want to do.
Makes sense. As for me personally, I think I could take a dip into Warlock myself and see how that goes, but that's it for me, really.
Yeah.
And
what are you right now?
don't worry about it.
I think it would be really cool though. Like, can you imagine the entire party has no, but the entire party, right? Not just the PCs, but all the NPCs also have Warlock pacts. Can you imagine that is where we go when we get to, I don't know, Arc 4?
I mean, I would like to have
what Arc 4's about.
I would like to have a patron IRL of the sugar kind.
The Glucose Guardian.
Yeah, the Glucose Guardian. Yeah. That's a Warlock class I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, or just like someone who will decide for me what I should eat 3 times a day. Like
I pay for the food.
Having like you know, I was watching Venom the other day. I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind.
Eddie!
Eat your fries, Eddie!
Yeah.
Kiss me with tongue, Eddie.
Don't forget to chew, Eddie.
Anyway,
chew all these nuts, Eddie.
I've only watched the first one. I gotta watch the next 2.
I've also only seen the first one.
Did we get onto the rice yet or not?
Right?
They already said
Yeah,
it.
Rice.
Oh,
Rice
okay.
went-
I have a very.
They want to
Bryce
figure out
said
their
which one
past.
did-
Oh yeah, of
yeah.
course.
Oh yeah.
I think it was so short and like innocent. That was like.
Yeah.
It was a sprout amount of
While
words.
the rest
Yes.
of us have gone on like
Yeah.
10-minute rants each.
Yeah.
What's our next question?
Next question is for Anna and Mike.
Oh.
Okay.
How did you come up with and plan the paper bird scene? This is given to us by XX Dagon Killer XX.
That must be a season.
So
yeah.
it's a C's, yes.
Yeah. I think Mike, you just offered to send me some. I think you said like I bought like a bunch of paper birds, and what if I sent you some and I could
Yeah.
Yeah,
do that?
I saw origami cranes online and went, that would be cool to have, and then like mentioned it to Anna, and I was like, actually, like if I send you some of these, we can do a whole scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I have
and
them
it was like,
somewhere
yeah,
here.
so
Yeah.
You guys know you can just make your
see, they're a
own.
good size. These ones I ordered they're tiny, you see. It's like they're made out of cigarette paper.
Yeah, like I've
Yeah.
done some origami before. These are tiny. I could not.
Oh yeah, I can't do the really tiny ones.
Yeah, so no,
actually sad.
I think it was really
jar.
cool.
So, yeah,
we had to
that
have
was
one
it.
at least. There's a jar.
I do remember that, like, remember when you, because I don't think you warned me like when you were gonna do it, but obviously I've been paying attention. It's
No.
the moment you meant paper, but then I was looking, what color is it? What color? Because I was trying, because there's like 7 or so, like 6 different colors I have. So I was, but you pulled a yellow one, but there's 2 shades of yellow as well. So
Yeah, I didn't
like a
realize there were
darker
2
and a
shades of
lighter one,
yellow.
and I was just like listening, but like intently. I think you can see it when you watch back. You can see me intently staring at the screen, trying to figure out what
checked,
color
yeah.
you moved.
I was
and I
like,
was like,
how
okay,
did
I'm
this
gonna-
dark magic just happen?
Yeah. No, it was.
Uh,
And literally, this was all from an aesthetic that I came up to essentially finesse the paper bird messages that I send to people. It's like, oh, I'll just have
Yeah.
Jasper like makes cranes and floats them using prestidigitation so that nobody's suspicious when he sends a message out the window. You know.
Yeah, it's cool, and I think I also like it that where I said earlier that Devana makes like flower crowns like and crafts. So like both calm down and also give to people. I like that Jasper's doing kind of the same, like making little things to give. And I love the little back and forth they have where, you know, like I said, Devana shifts like little pressed flowers into his journal and like these things. But yeah, that was the reaction was so priceless, because I think it's also, it took a second for people to load because it's so small.
Definitely.
It's so small. And
Yeah.
I remember I had to moved it close to the screen. I think then I saw people like, oh, wait a second.
It was
Yeah, I need
literally
to
like
go back and clip that. I think that would do numbers.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
Also,
oh, okay, yeah, talking roleplay. Wait, what just happened?
Yeah, it was great.
Next question.
okay. Yes, next question. We'll do more rapid fires so Mike can answer more of these. But this question is from Denver. What is one thing your character regrets from the events of the arc? Now, I'm gonna start in a order of no particular reasoning. Sapphire, would you like to go first?
You know,
Yeah.
surprisingly, you would think that they would regret eating the dragon heart, but they don't regret it. I think they are concerned about the consequences. It's like, was this the right decision or not?
Not
But it's
what
not.
we thought you would speak
Not
first.
what we
Right?
thought either.
Not what we were going for.
Oh, yeah. And then I think the other big one is the fuck me up baby girl, right? I think even there, Sapphire does not believe that it is their fault, right? Sapphire thinks that this was going to happen regardless. And if they hadn't said yes, they wouldn't have learned all of this new information. I think that's the, if it's a delusion or not, they're not sure, but that is what they're choosing to believe for now. So I think, but like regret, I think would be then we're gonna go personal. The lashing out at Bahamut after coming back from the pyramid and being upset at him and like, why the fuck did you not respond? And then being like, because I couldn't see you, I couldn't hear
Like
you.
I was literally looking for you.
Yeah, that thing. And I think it just they fell back into old habits really quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's very scary and dangerous, that they feel is very scary and dangerous for them. So I think that's the
All right. Estrogen.
I mean, I think I think estrogen does, in a roundabout way, regret. Like she regrets the events that happened. Like she regrets the whole Abyss thing, but I guess the specific part she regrets is not being more careful.
Fair enough.
I think that's the thing.
It's
I
the
think
hindsight hitting her. Like,
it's the hindsight that okay,
Yeah.
yes, there was a thing there. Yes, Fulgoben is this kind of power. It's just like okay, could I have somehow prevented that? Could I have maybe just not gone in there, not let Sapphire in, like, and not that that would have prevented it so much as delayed it a bit.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the carefulness. And honestly, that also plays in with the Eladrin season thing because spring
Yeah.
is like carefree and like happy go lucky, and summer is like goal oriented and like
Yeah.
kind of get to work. So yeah.
Makes sense. Jasper?
I mean, fucking everything.
As I said, pick
like-
one.
One.
Being born.
From this arc, that was before this arc. How dare
Oh
you?
God. Yeah, I think. Oh, like it would be easy to say the using the deck of many things, or throwing the deck of many things into the spell forge, or so many things. But I think it's actually the reaching out to Devana's sister, to Debria, with the paper bird, bringing that whole danger closer to Devana.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. He's kind of he's learning that sometimes intentions don't really matter.
UBC?
Letting Jasper take charge at the pyramid. I think the UBC could have changed the entire. Like, if he had, like, gone as, like, a person, he believes that if he had not let Jasper pull that scheme, and just had been very direct as we're people of faith, this needs to be done, then the whole pyramid disaster probably could have been avoided. Or at
That
the
scheme
very
was
least,
working.
or at the very least, well, think about what happened after, though. There was the yelling, there was the reveal, there was estrogen blowing up. So I think that if UBC had, and I think it's not that he regrets trusting Jasper in that moment. I think that UBC regrets Jasper's smooth, but Jasper isn't infallible. And that person probably would have tried to pull one over on us, whether we negotiated with them fairly and directly, or trying to pull one over on them. So I think the big regret is trying to play that guy at his own game. We should have established our game.
It's really interesting because when I suggested that Jasper do this, in my head I had it as Jasper will go off and do this and pretend to be this guy, and you guys see what the score is and are the fail-safe plan kind of thing. And then we all just went together, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, whoops.
So it played out very differently to the way that I had it in my head it was gonna go, because we went as a group.
Yeah, I was there with you, Mike, because I was a separate group, and then I think at least two people something were, and also I think we were not hiding very well, so they spotted us as well, and I was like, yeah, that's.
The stealth checks were kind of rough. Also, this one I'm very curious about. Sprout, what is your regret?
Funnily enough, Sprout's regret is, it's complicated. Wait, let me think. So, Sprout doesn't regret many things because Sprout hasn't done a lot of things in general, like they've more so been it's like having a child who's still learning, right? They're watching, you know. And I think what they're regretting is one, not having been more useful to the party and trying to and they're like, oh, they're so fragile. Maybe I could have done a better heal, or maybe I could have actually offered to go there, even if I don't know why we had to go there. I could have maybe tagged along. Or what if, they don't understand the feeling of being,
Yeah.
they don't understand it yet. But they also have this, they also regret not having, they're slowly starting to regret, at least, not having moved from the rock. Because if they were to travel, right, they would have known more now and they would have been more prepared. So they're pretty torn at the moment from like, what if I moved, but what if that person came back for me? So you just have these two,
Oh.
like, they're kind of clashing. And like yeah, no, I feel like Sprout is regretting not knowing more about things, even though it's not their fault, and just wishing he could have been more helpful.
Yeah, makes sense. And then we have Devana.
I think it's similar to what Asi said about being careful, but I think they regret not being more careful with their life. And I think if I had to pick one of those things, it would be the devil contract. And not that they regret doing what they did for Nedra. I think it's more a sense of like, I think they obviously really quickly after realized like, oh, I'm doing exactly the same thing that, or something that happened to Dagon's like other like former kind of love interest, and now he's just after making him a promise to stick around, and then also thinking like there is now a reason for a devil to come back and potentially bring more danger as well. So I think in hindsight they would have, if they had to do it all over again, either try and stall and give, for example, Sebastian or some I don't know, Sebastian wasn't there yet, but I think give more people the opportunity to help, or they would have offered a necklace instead, which is what is a thing I rolled for. I did roll for whether they would offer themselves with a necklace, but I think in hindsight they regret acting so quick to make that pact, and that's also why I said earlier that now they would still self-sacrifice it, but they would have make a more calculated kind of like, and that's, I think they regret being so rash about like putting their life on the line. So they would say in the same way, like not being careful enough.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Next question is again, I believe, from Assis XX Rattles Flicker XX.
Oh no, we had
Sapphire went first.
Yeah, Dad yelling.
I am sorry. I am very bad at my memory. Ignore me.
Stop assuming everything is from me.
Oh, are you not XX Rattles Flicker XX?
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. You'll never know.
Question directed to me. Who's your least favorite NPC to play? That's not a fair question. I like all of them.
That's why I asked it, because it challenges
There's your
you.
answer. There's your answer. That's an okay answer.
If I were to pick one, it would be the voice Devana hears. The rotten one voice. Because here's the thing. Even among all the villains and everything, he's like the shittiest kind of villain.
You mean the temple one or the cult one?
Yeah, like the voice that was trying to like brainwash you. Like that is, out of all the villains, is also my least favorite one, because you'll see when you learn more about it. It's just like,
he's
why?
He gives losing
like Forgoven with none of the fun.
No redeeming fight features.
It's like everything I don't like about Forgoven with none of the good things I like about Forgoven.
No, that's the thing.
Like,
there are other cerebral villains who just fuck with your head, but I have one in this campaign that is better at that than him. Difference is this one specifically targets just one character, is why it's fun in certain ways, like narratively. But that's it. But that's my answer for that. Question for the table. Again, quickfire. You have to name two things. Name your least favorite and most favorite character. PCs, NPCs, anything. This is given to us by the Bride of Fulgoben. I wonder who that is.
Okay. Least favorite is definitely the cult leader guy. I'm with you on that, Tan. Like, I don't know who he is, what he is, but they have been behind so much awful stuff. And then my absolute favorite character, probably Devana.
What? Did I
I
say?
think Devana's backstory, I think Devana's full arc, I think that Devana it just is the heart of the party, and I deeply appreciate that. And I hope
That's
one day I get
sweet.
to play a character like that.
Please do. It's really nice. Thank you.
I'm just going to step in here and say really quick that based on what happened in chat, Dark Waters has now been cancelled. We are done. Arc 1 is all we got to do. There will be no Arc 2. And we're done. Goodbye.
Nano asked Tan, who is the most annoying player amongst the circus in a funny way. And Tan said, Steve, easy.
All right, I'll jump in next. So, favorite character. Actually, I think it's Sapphire. I think what Steve's actually created is a character with such a tragic backstory. Somebody who has had it all and actually like lost it and is trying to find themselves again. It's just a great arc to play with, and yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Least favorite. I love Magpie. I love
yes.
how
we
she
Yeah,
played the character.
we know.
We know.
Yeah.
Okay, I take it back. We can continue.
And that is the highest compliment I can pay to Magpie is how much I hate Isandro.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think least favorite. I mean, the NPC we've not met yet, but we know we're gonna come up the rich guy. But obviously that doesn't count. I think for this arc, I think I guess the cult fucker. I don't. But that's. I don't know if I consider an NPC in my head, but I think all the other ones that we met are not don't inspire such vitriol in me. As for favorite, I will say to everyone, I love all the characters. I think it's a really cool group, and I agree with also on Sapphire. But I love Jasper, and I tell Mike this so much because I just love. I don't know. I love a character who just tries so hard and then like just does weird shit and just I don't know.
I send down one line of text and she just goes, "I love Jasper so much."
Yeah, I love Jasper. I don't know why. I have a weak spot for characters like Jasper. So yeah.
My favorite is also Jasper, but tied with Sprout. There's just I'm a sucker for an innocent sweet baby character, which is why Sprout just I can't. But yeah, Jasper just. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much about Jasper. Jasper's also chaotic. Least favorite is the guy who ran the circus, the one in the pyramid.
Yeah,
Faraday.
that was my
Faraday.
Also. Yeah.
I hate Faraday.
Burn in hell.
Oh.
All 9 of them.
Yeah.
Steve, what about you?
I think favorite. I really like Estrogen. I think there is a thing. I don't know if it's just me projecting or not, but I feel like there is like a sadness and there's like a sense of like trauma that she doesn't understand herself that I would really like to see more. I don't know if it's like a thing that I'm just assuming because of the pact with Fulgobin and like I'm assuming that he preys on people like that, but I feel like there's something there that is really interesting and I would like to see explored backstory wise. Least favorite would be trying to think of something someone we haven't named before. There was no, I think it's gonna have to be the guy who was holding Nedra and forcing her to fight, that circus guy. Yeah, fuck him. Yeah.
And he wasn't forcing her to fight, but sure. Anyway. Rice.
It's written by the victors, which
Right.
are us.
Here's my issue. I love all of the player characters for their individual things, and I have a really hard time choosing one, so I'm just going to say
Yeah.
party and call it a day.
Yeah, I agree. Every character is so unique in their own
Like
way.
every
and so
character
fun.
is like every character touches one part of my autistic brain, and I go like, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes, very good. As a person who I hate, let me think of someone that hasn't been said before. The bitch we met in like the cave underneath the mansion, the wizard guy. He was so fucking
Glass
annoying.
Trap.
Oh God,
So
yes.
fucking annoying.
I
I
forgot
wanted
about
to
that
bitch
one.
slap him
Yeah,
when
he
I
was
met
so
Yeah,
him. I
no,
can't
unforgettable.
bear.
No, he was the
That's
opposite
where
of
we get
that.
that.
He was so
Coward.
forgettable. Yeah,
He was so forgettable too.
yeah,
Like, oh
yeah.
my
Glassstaff
god.
in Tales of
I
Fate
was
was
thinking
like
about it.
this.
Yeah.
I was like,
This.
oh man, who could I say that
Yeah.
wasn't mentioned before? And then I was like, oh, that
Yeah,
one
no,
bitch.
with the scale of the plot, like I had to make Glassstaff just a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
He was
He's
such
just a
a bitch.
loser.
yeah.
He was
Just like,
a
oh,
loser,
you're in a
but like
small
a bad
town,
kind
just
of
like
loser,
blackmailing
you know?
people with muscle you got from your boss, essentially. Yeah, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
but
I
yeah,
was
as
expecting
for
him to be
my
like
yeah,
the big bad person who actually opened the abyss. Like that was where I was going with it. But I'm so glad that he was just like a throwaway, whatever. Took us barely
Yeah.
5 minutes to defeat him. We took
was very
longer to
funny.
fight the other people in that place than to actually take him down. I think that was really funny.
That was my favorite bit for that as well. Also, for my least and most favorite, I've already answered those, so just go consult those answers. Last submitted question is from Callum.
Oh.
Why did none of you grab skills for using a ship in a game called Dark Waters?
Hey! I thought it was it was a
Oh,
metaphorical name.
Callum, he changed the name after we made our characters.
Untrue.
No.
Dark Waters has been the name since I announced it.
No, it was Dark Waters. It was always Dark Waters. Tales of Tennessee was just a bigger like label.
That's what I was calling
Dark
it.
Waters said it was just going to be like I don't know why, just because
Tales of Tennessee encapsulates all of them, like
I
Onrush,
thought Dark Waters was a metaphorical name. I thought we
that's
just
what I
put the
thought.
state of the
Yeah.
world and around us. I didn't know we'd be sailing.
No, but he
I
didn't mention it, right?
And say we're playing
I
adventures on the
listened
high
to him.
seas,
It's a
or we're
nautical.
playing
I
pirates.
said in
the fact
session
it would
0,
be
it's
at
nautical.
sea.
Yeah.
He did
Listen to
say
you.
that there would be a boat. First
I-
thing he did was say that there would be a boat.
I totally thought about giving Jasper water vehicles.
You didn't make a pirate character. You remembered it's nautical. Yeah.
But I thought it would be much funnier to like have a character who thought that the skills required for captaining a vessel were looking cool and wearing a tricorn hat.
And that's why I love Jasper.
Mission failed is what you mean.
No,
then.
I also
I
like playing into the thing where I don't know what a boat is, so you know.
Yes, it's like a leaf. It's fine.
Yeah.
So there you have it, Callum. This is what I have to deal with. I said it, okay?
But also to counter that, the ship requires good arcana. I made a character with good arcana, so
did half the party, but yes. But yes, that was our last submitted question. We do have a bonus one from Nano. We can quickly go through this one as well. What do you envy about your characters?
I don't know.
They don't know shit. I wish I didn't. I wish I was unaware.
Yeah.
I wish I lived in bliss and ignorance.
I would just like to point out that the subtitles for Hector just picked up whole. So
they picked up Peppa Pig earlier.
One more in the jar.
No, that's not my fault. That was
you said whole and then giggled. That's a jar.
Actually, I changed my mind. My least favorite character is the jar.
Yes. Same.
But yeah,
it picked up Peppa Pig. It also I have spotted earlier, and I didn't point it out, that it had Hector saying baboon at some point as well.
Trying to talk about the.
Oh no!
I think the subtitle is just not primed for the American accent
or the Indian accent. Yeah.
I
Or
think
talking.
as for I think envy, it's funny because Devana is actually more a much younger version of me how I was a teenager, the kind of insecurity and stuff like that. So it's really funny to think about what do I envy about a character that used to be someone like me. I think I mean, I try and be an optimist, and I think I try and be kind as much as I can, but I think Devana is much more optimistic in that sense. I think it's much more maybe resilient than me, or at least
I think the more like the way to put it would be like forgivingness and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and I think
the infinite
yeah.
patience.
Yeah, definitely the page. I think that's another thing that I think the patience specifically, because a lot of myself and my young self model is Devana's modeled after that, but I think the patience, I am not always the most patient person. And I think that's definitely something I envy and I wish I had more of.
That makes sense. I can't really answer this because I don't know which character to take that representation off of. Most of my NPCs have a piece of me that I envy or like, and yeah.
I don't know what do I.
Here for 10 hours
that's-
if we were to uncover the trauma behind all of Tan's characters. I swear to
True.
God.
My
It's just
character.
character creation in general, though, isn't it? You either like amplify like a part of yourself that you like,
Yeah.
or you
Across my
amplify
NPCs,
a
deities,
part of
and
yourself that
everything.
you wish
Yeah.
you had.
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
think in general character creation, there's elements
thing
of every
is,
character that
generally,
you want
yes.
and wouldn't want.
I feel like Estrogen is one of the few characters that really subverts that for me. Like, there are characters which are wholly me. Like in the Rose Court, like which Hector's organizing. Like my character is just me, almost exactly me. Estrogen is honestly the furthest removed character from myself I've ever played. I think the only part that like was coming from a kind of place of wishing that could be me was how I'd made her at the start, the kind of happy-go-lucky kind of
Yeah.
just going at things and not thinking about them kind of thing. That part was enviable. Uh, Esther in her current state, like given her past and given her current state, like I don't see that much to envy about her anymore. I envy that she's not constantly yearning and overwhelmed by love.
Oh.
I think that must make life easier for her.
For now. Anyway. Steve, anything for you and Sapphire?
I think I have done the thing again where I've put a lot of myself into building Sapphire, and more than usual. Like usually it's like one or two little small things, but Sapphire, like from the issues with their dad to the I'm not a hero, I don't want this responsibility thing, to the whole just flirting with anything that moves kind of thing. There is a lot of myself in Sapphire. So I think
Do you not want to take responsibility?
No.
Why did you start a whole streaming community? The fuck?
That was not because of responsibility. I did that because I did it because I enjoyed doing it, not because I wanted the responsibility of being the one to do it.
But you did.
No, but it comes with responsibility, is the self-reporting you have done, where I want Sapphire to get along with their dad. I want them to go do all of this shit. Guess what? That makes you a hero.
Yeah. Also, Nano is low-key, right? Like, yeah.
It's true.
But yeah, I think
what I is often right.
Yeah. What I do envy about Sapphire is like they could walk away even today and not feel guilty about not accomplishing or living up to their potential or whatever, right? I could never do that, because even right now, today, working 3 jobs, killing myself doing Pantsless tables and Sassy Pants, staying up till 4 a.m. to make clips and everything, I still don't think I'm living up to my fullest potential, right? Despite all of that. So I think that is what I'm envious of. Like Sapphire knows how much they can give, and they know what is their limit and what is enough. And I don't. And I think that is,
That is a
Too real.
lovely note to end it on, as Mike has dipped out as well.
Yes.
But yeah, that I think wraps it for our Q&A for Arc 1. That was
Yeah.
fun. Lots of
That lasted
You
so
know.
much longer than we thought it would.
Yeah.
Oh, it lasted
love it.
exactly how long I knew it was
we'd
going.
yap. I knew
Yeah.
we'd yap.
I
We do,
knew
yeah.
it.
There was so
Back
much
to
to
this.
unpack from that compressed arc we played through, and
Oh,
this will
yeah.
happen again when Arc 2 finishes, and
Yeah.
Arc 3
I
and
can't
Arc
wait.
4 and so on.
Yippee!
So
this is so
thank
good.
you for the people who did submit the questions. Thank you to the people who wanted to listen to us yap about a game we aren't even playing right now.
I don't fucking get those
And-
people.
Couldn't be me,
I
am
think
I
those
right?
people are the best.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun to do.
Nano's asking us another question.
No,
last
no,
one,
we're
yeah.
good.
Does streaming make a difference to how you play your character or campaign for the DM at all?
Yes.
Yes. I have to change a lot of the content and change how certain things are progressed, because I have a set amount of time to do segments in, while in most cases I would be like, okay, we'll just stop midway through, or oh, we'll go longer today. Where that isn't possible, I run it linear in certain places, or I speed people up through segments where I would want them to sit and talk and take their time with stuff. I end up being like, okay, let's, we'll pick up one conversation per person, then we'll keep moving. And that happens a lot.
I won't get into the intricacies of it, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, character playing different.
I know character
yeah.
playing for me is not different. That I will say that makes no difference for me. But
Yeah,
campaign makes
DMing gets different for me. Character playing, I don't think it would get different for me. But yeah, we will call it there. We will be back with basically the second episode of the second arc, or third episode of the second arc of
2.5.
Dark Waters on Friday.
Yay!
And until then, hang around. It is fun. I have been your, I guess, Q&A dungeon master, Tan Fighter, and these have been our lovely
Dungeon
players.
Master.
Yes. You can find me at Tanfighter on Blue Sky, Tanfighter117 on Instagram, Tanfighter on Discord, etc., etc. I do actual plays like Dark Waters and a couple others here and there. I also do voice acting work and stuff like that. So if you need any of that work done, hire me, hit me up on any of those platforms. And cease.
I'm Asif. Cheers. I'm at Lesbianing on Blue Sky and most other places, but not Instagram. Just find me on Instagram through the Pantsless channel. And I also do actual plays and find me, put me in your actual plays. I'll be at I'll be in stuff this month. There's the Black History Month streams that Hector is organizing, and I will be in one of those. And otherwise, eventually, you will see Rose Court and a very special God Killer.
All right. After that, Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna O'Reilly, whichever one you prefer. I use them pronouns, and I'm definitely human. You can find me anywhere at Peculiar Planets. I'm on pretty social media. I am a comic and tabletop writer, and I do sensitivity reading. You can find all about that at on my website at which is just peculiarplanets.com. As for other stuff, I am in a Pathfinder actual play podcast called Twilight's Edge, which episodes drop every Tuesday on your favorite streaming podcast platform, where I play a completely different character who is not so nice, and a complete edgelord of a wizard. And then on this Sunday at 7 p.m. Central European time, we're playing the finale of our Vampire the Masquerade campaign over the Misadventures League, so definitely tune in for that. And I think that's it. Obviously, yeah, Friday, Dark Waters here, but yeah, that's it.
Indeed. Next up, we have Hector.
Hi, my name is Hector, aka Keiichi Okami, all over the internet, or Okami for short. I am an actual play performer, an indie game designer. You can find me at keiichiokami.itch.io, which is my Blue Sky handle, and also at Keiichi Okami on Instagram. But mostly on Blue Sky, and that is also my itch page. So if you're interested in my games, I just dropped the Ash Can for Fair Season 2nd Edition, my Belonging Outside Belonging TTRPG game about a bunch of Middle Ages reenactors going to a week-long costume camping festival and encountering supernatural shenanigans. Please check out my itch page. Buy it if you can, and if you can't, there's plenty of community copies. So give it a try, see if you like it, and then buy a copy. Play my game, please. I'll be here on Friday playing Yavisi, and then on Sunday over on House of Dreams here on Twitch, house_of_dreams. We're going to be launching in partnership with Apochromatic Unlimited, for Black History Month, a Wander Home charity actual play series where we're going to be raising funds for Black Girls Rock. And it'll be starting at 12:30 Eastern time. We'll be going live. We have the amazing Umbral Knight, Honey and Dice, and Trooper SPJ as our cast, and I'm going to be your guide. And we're going to have some wonderful, cozy folklore punk adventures. So please join us.
Hell
And that's
yeah.
all.
Yeah. Next we have Rice.
Oh, hi, I'm Rice, or Ricecakes, which has been munching for the last like half an hour because this is what happens when you have an exam today and you didn't get to properly eat. Yes, you can find me at the original Ores on both Blue Sky and X because I don't know why I'm still there, honestly. But I'm there, I guess. I do art sometimes. Sometimes. It's a part-time job, unfortunately, when you're a new student. Yeah, I have this going on Fridays. There's something coming in February, but I'm not sure I can talk about it. I'm gonna look at Anna. Anna, can I talk about it?
I'm not sure either.
Okay, and I will shut up. Something is coming February.
Something.
Ominous.
Nice.
Nice.
Maybe my will to actually finish those now 5 animations that I'm working on. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know. I torture myself. Also, Tan, I
Yes.
never told you this. The fifth animation that I started working on. It's a fucking anime intro for Dark Waters. Have fun with that information.
I have been meaning to make that for 7 years. In my head, it
Yeah,
always
that is
played to
going-
the
that-
Smash Bros theme song, but
I first need to get the willpower and time to finish the other 3, which are like the Hallows Vale one is almost done, right? I just have to edit it, but I just didn't get the time to do it because exams just hit me like this, right? But after the 6th of February, I swear to fucking God, y'all better watch out because I'm not sleeping, eating until that bitch is done. That
You
the
better
one
be
for-
eating and sleeping.
I have one
Yeah,
for
you better
every
be.
campaign I've been in. So, hui.
I will say, whenever that anime intro is done, we can use that at the start of our streams.
Yeah.
We can actually have an opening then. But yes.
I mean, fair
Amazing.
enough. Ay.
And last but not least, our host with the most, something Steve, who also received the same information.
Hi, I'm Steve, or Sassy, whichever you prefer, and I'm definitely not wearing pants. You can find me here or there or everywhere. We're live 4 days a week. I am actually going on break for the first time in 4 months this weekend, and so I'm going to be unavailable Friday till next Friday. So we've got 2 guest producers to help run our games. Anna's going to take over Friday, and we've got Kieran helping out on Sunday to balance things out, because Saturday we're taking a break from Tales of Fate because 3 people are unavailable that this weekend. So yeah, I will try to be here for the game, but no promises. It'll have to depend on what the schedule is like. We're traveling and everything. But yeah, we have 2 new shows coming out mid-February. February 21st and February 23rd, we launched 2 new shows. One is a Blades in the Dark full length campaign that'll run alternative from Dark Waters, and one is a 4-episode Candela Obscura miniseries, which is benefiting the LA Wildlife Fire Rescue Relief efforts. That's going to be for charity. But yeah, that's basically all of that. Thank you for being here, for watching the Q&A. This was fun. I had a good time. Yep, that's all for me.
Yep. Shall see you guys on Friday. Bye-bye.